Hi everyone, this is a Double OG's podcast. So this is French OG at French OG3 on X, and I'm with Xans. Xans, can you present yourself?
Yes, Xans. I also go by Nathan, but mostly Xans. Yeah, thanks for having me on, French. A little background for people that aren't aware of me and what I do. So, I'm a hypnotist. I hypnotize people to work past their problems, whether it's losing weight, making more money, making a lot more money, improving your relationships, getting the confidence to go out and meet women and work past any, interpersonal problems. Just here for anything. Essentially, I help you get more of what you want out of life, whatever that is. As long as it's good, I don't give a shit. I'll help you get it. But yeah, that's a little bit of background on me. Sure, we could get into it further, but I'll let you take over from here, French.
Okay, you said as long as it's good. What if it's bad?
Then I'm not going to work with you, or I'm going to hypnotize it out of you. Bad meaning it like makes like it hurts people or makes like I'm not going to hypnotize somebody to be a better abusive person, right? Or I'm not going to hypnotize somebody to be a better fraudster to defraud people, right? I'm just not going to do that. But if you just like want to fuck more, yeah, by all means, I'll help you do. I help guys do that all the time. Or if you want to make more money, yeah, I'll help you make more money. Not a, or you want to lose weight, I'll help you lose weight, right? But I'm not. I've actually had some people come to me. They're like, "Can you hypnotize my wife to fall in love with me?" I'm like, "No, but I can hypnotize you to be a better man, so she fucking loves you. So let's do that instead." But yeah, yeah, some people are wild. Which, by the way, it's all possible with hypnosis. You can do anything. But anyways, so because you're just creating reality, that's all you're doing at the end of the day. You're just creating a reality for somebody to step into, and then they just embody that reality, and then they live in it. But all right, let's yeah, where do we go from
No,
here?
no,
The
I
podcast.
think if I was like, oh, I think if I was a hypnotherapist, I would not be as ethical, more or less you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's up to you, right? Like, do whatever you want. I mean, that's why I am actually careful with who I teach hypnosis to, because like, you give. Fortunately, I'm thankful. I've had unlimited power in past relationships, and I'm aware of just how much it corrupts. Right?
But yeah,
Most people, when they're given power, it's corrupting because they just
100%.
they don't know what to do with it.
Oh,
Right? Like,
100%. Like I've been in position as well where I had power, and I was like, and before. I was drunk on the power, right?
yeah,
And, and I did bad, right? And then, um, now I don't want to act upon the power. And like, to be honest, it's generally it's an indicator of a good person. If you're a good person or not is, do you act unnecessarily with the power given to you? That's
yeah.
pretty like,
I couldn't agree more. And it's like what we were talking about before we got into recording. Is I like to give people power just to see how they handle it. As long as you handle it well, beautiful relationship. You start using that, guess what? You ain't getting more power.
we get no more
And that
relationship
like, yeah, yeah, no more. Well, if it's a girl, no more relationship. If it's a guy, well, nice knowing you. You
because
just showed me your cards.
I'll tell you something. It's like the strongest friendship that you find. I mean, we're guys here, right? So it's like the strongest friendship that you get is with people that you've been vulnerable with, right? Like they hold power over you, and then you hold power over them, and both of you kind of like it's a bit like nuclear dissuasion, right? Where it's
Uh huh.
like you have the nuclear powers, they have the nuclear power. We can fuck up each other's country, so let's not fuck up.
Exactly. It's mutually assured destruction. Like, I mean, it honestly feels like the foundation of a lot of good friendships and relationships. I'm like, we could fuck each other up here, but we're not doing it out of respect. And maybe that's why, like, Skull and Bones was such a big thing because, like, or just like the hazing rituals in general and like fraternities and colleges, because you have that mutual power, you're able to say, hey, we could fuck each other's life up, but we're not. So let's just be fucking real and help each other become the best versions we can.
Or just basically help each other out in I mean, obviously those are societies, or I mean, we're not talking about skull and bones, right? That help people out, in a way, growing through hierarchy or through social power, all this stuff. But anyway, but in order for so in order for people to actually understand where you're coming from, because you say you're a hypnotherapist. Were you always like that? I mean, what's your background, and how do you come to X? How do you start X for? I mean, X as in not Xens, but Twitter.
Yeah, so it's a long story. I'll try to condense it as much as I can. We'll get into the meat of the issue. So I came to X in 2020. I think my profile says 2018 though, but I might have created it. Anyways, we're doing the short version.
Yeah.
So I came to X in 2020 and just was posting my thoughts. In fact, for the longest time, I just treated it as a journal where I'm just like, I have a thought, boom, post it. Like, no intention. In fact, I told myself I'm never going to try to grow it. Right. And I still don't try to grow it. I just try to find people that my content resonates with. And yeah, just been treating it like that ever since. I got into I wouldn't call it hypnotherapy.
What?
I'm not a
Oh,
therapist and I never claimed to be a therapist. I'm not if I was a therapist, I'd be a terrible therapist. I help you work past your problems, but I don't subscribe to the whole mental health therapy complex. In fact, I think it's all bullshit because it is. But I got into that about September, November of last year and essentially just went off to the races. It changed my life. I got hypnotized in, like I said, November, like forget when exactly, but sometime in November. And at the time, I was like 184 pounds overweight, not looking very good, completely broke. In fact, the to go to the seminar to go get hypnotized to learn how to hypnotize people is I had to buy the plane ticket the day before and had to crash with my friend and my whole life like I wasn't having the relationships I wanted, the friendships I wanted. I wasn't having the life I wanted. So then I got hypnotized. I had all my trauma removed, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But I had a very traumatic history. I write about it on my Twitter. If you look, and then everything changed. 2 weeks after that, I started losing the weight, and then 6 weeks after that, I lost all the weight. Went from 184 to 160. I think from like probably 20% body fat down to like 10% body fat. I made more money than I ever have in my entire life. I'm not going to give a figure, but let's just say it's not too bad, especially for like, starting out, like essentially just took off instantly. Best relationship I've ever been in my life, best friendships I've ever had in my life, like just everything in my life changed overnight. And I've been helping other people do that since. If you look on my Twitter, I get endless testimonials, people losing hundreds of pounds, people fucking making more money than they ever have in their life, people uprooting their entire life, moving, following their dreams. Right, just everybody that I work with, they just get immense, deep interpersonal change, and that's really possible because of what I've had to overcome and go through. Like I was telling, you French, like I had a very fucked up past. From 3rd grade until 18, I was homeschooled, sexually, physically, emotionally abused my entire life. Just the most severe, heinous abuse you can imagine. Malignant narcissist father, borderline personality disorder mother, paranoid schizophrenic brother, 5 brothers, 2 sisters. Just a fucking mess, though. Moved 21 times before I was 18. Had no fucking social skills, interaction with the outside world. Everything was fucking inverted, right? So I've had to overcome all these issues and was able to finally remove all my trauma with hypnosis when I tried therapy previously. Fucking, I've tried medication, I've tried drugs, I've tried psychedelics, I've tried spiritual practice, I've tried all this shit. Nothing worked. One 23-minute session, boom, everything changed.
23
Um,
minutes only.
23 minutes. Yeah. Well, then I also got hypnotized after by my good friend, which we won't count that, but it does count. But yeah, essentially, I mean, I change people's lives in a single session, or if we do multiple sessions, I like rewire your identity. I also threw a retreat in December where I hypnotized 4 people for 3 days, completely changed their lives, gave them a second identity, rewired their mind for a second identity, and yeah, I mean, sky's the limit with hypnosis. You can do anything you want. But yeah, so I've become absolutely obsessed with it since because I view it as like the master communication skill. Everything falls under hypnosis: sales, seduction, interpersonal relationships, persuasion, public speaking. It all falls under hypnosis. You get good at hypnosis, you get good at all those skills. Because really, what you're doing is when you are able to hypnotize yourself, is you're able to give yourself any trait, confidence level, ability that's naturally given in an instant. So I can host a retreat when I've never hosted a retreat in my life, absolutely crush it, get filmed the entire time, never been filmed in my life, like had a documentary shot. I can go on stages, talk to, hundreds of people and feel completely confident while I'm doing it. I can lose all the weight, right? I mean, you could just do anything you want. That's my point. It's like a superpower when you really get down to it, because you're just creating a reality where whatever problem you're facing does not exist. and then you just step into it. But yeah, so that's a bit of a brief background about me. Um, and then, as I'm sure we'll get into today's framing, but yeah,
Yeah, no, because the subject of the pod is about framing. But I mean, I love stories, you know. So when I hear stuff like this, I'm just like, yeah, I feel like Aladdin, right? I've just come and I invite you on the podcast. I'm just basically warming up whatever receptacle. Then the Jenny comes out, and it's like, whoa, you know. And I hear I'm solving problems. Hey, man, hey, look, I've put on some way I could actually do a deal with your service. I'll tell you that right now.
yeah, yeah, we all can. We all can. I got to gain weight now, but yeah, in general, most people can.
Joking aside, it's like I don't feel like I'm eating any like much more than I did in the past, and I'm not actually eating like. And it's like I can't fucking shade the weight. Tell me I'm 36 without telling me I'm 36. So maybe it's just something, you know.
It's your thyroid kicking up, probably. No, I don't know exactly what it is. It's probably
Anyway,
just not as
whatever.
active. But yeah,
No, no. But when I say this like with you know, pure because I know the benefits of hypnosis, having seen people benefit from it. So it's like I'm not in any way or shape or form undermining what you're doing. And look, if it works for people already very fast, et cetera, you know, there you go.
well, see,
Um,
the problem is like how hypnosis is understood. It's not whatever you think it is. When I went into it, it was not what I thought it was.
mhm.
It's not like for most people, it's actually a joke. Like most hypnotherapists or hypnotists, they don't actually get people into the state they need to be into, which is somnambulism. And when you're not in that state, you don't get changes, right? You got to go into the deepest states in order to actually instantly change your personality, rewire it, get rid of limiting beliefs. Most therapists do not get their clients in there. Most people do not get their people in there, right? Like only in that state can you make change. It's depth, not just the process, right? So it's like I'm able to get people in deep through the process that I've invented 100% every time. And forgot where I was going to go with that. But essentially, well, what I was going to tie it into is like identity, right? So hypnosis is just you're creating a reality. You're going into the deepest stages, then you're removing or adding a trait, and essentially you're just rewiring how people see themselves. So in my case, in order to lose the weight, is well, everything in your life is derived from your identity. You do not get what you cannot see. If you see yourself as somebody that has a six pack, you will get a six pack.
Is that what you call
Why?
visualization?
No, it's deeper than that. It's the
Okay.
vision you see for your future. So where anxiety comes from, all that anxiety is that you are uncertain about the future.
Mhm.
Right? I think that might be the literal definition. I don't know, but you're anxious about the future. You're uncertain. Because would you be anxious if you had 100% confidence it was going to work out in your favor? No, of course not. You would know it's going to work out in your favor. So all that anxiety is you just can't see it working out for you. Just like you get the anxiety when you can't see it working out for you, you also don't get the outcome if you can't see it happening for yourself.
You self-sabotage.
You self-correct. You're not self-sabotaging, you're self-correcting. You're just correcting yourself to go back to the state that you actually believe you deserve, that you can actually see yourself in. So for the longest time, I couldn't see myself as somebody with a six pack, as somebody with a lot of money, as somebody with great relationships. I just couldn't see it. So I never got it. When I got hypnotized, now all of a sudden I could see it. Now it's harder for me to eat than it is to not eat because my identity is somebody with a six pack. So now I've walked around with a fucking six pack for like what, 8, 9, fucking 10 weeks now, whatever it is. Right. And it's no effort at all. It takes more effort to eat than it does to not eat. Now I'm going to hypnotize myself. So I see myself as somebody that not only has a six pack, but is fucking ripped. Right.
Hey, man.
And
Hey,
it
look,
works on such a subtle level. So when you think of change, right?
you know,
Take, for example, I hypnotize myself to see myself as somebody that's strong, that's ripped, that goes to the gym. So you might think that might come up after the hypnosis, like, I'm motivated to go to the gym. I'm excited. I see my. No, no, no. It's not that at all. No, because the mind is so powerful. You have the placebo effect. It could look a lot subtler than that. In my case, I kept like feeling weak. I would like wake up in the morning. I'm like, fuck, I feel weak right now. Right. And I couldn't figure out why I felt so weak. I'm like, am I getting sick? No, what it is that my mind is now focused on that future image of myself, of somebody that's strong. So then I feel just how weak I am. I notice just how weak I am. It was always there. I just didn't acknowledge it before because I didn't see myself as somebody that was weak, or I didn't see myself as somebody that goes to the gym. But now my mind is focused on this future outcome, this future version of myself that's strong. So it recognizes I'm not strong. So it's like, hey, something's going on here. Let's correct it. I hypnotized this girl the other day to get sick when she smoked cigarettes. Well, guess what? She smoked a cigarette. She literally came down with a fever and chills a couple hours later, or like a day later, her throat hurts. Right. I hypnotize people to like make more money. The next day, they make more money. They see opportunities they previously didn't see. Remove your limiting beliefs, and then your reality just unfolds completely differently. So it's not that it's this magic trick where you just like, but like, you're a fucking chicken, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it can be that in some cases, but like it fully uses the power of your mind to get you what you want out of life. And the power of your mind is dictated by whatever, horsepower you have installed at birth. But it's like, it's a wild fuck it. Like, it's insane. Like, once you actually realize it, you're like, holy shit.
I got a question for you. Would you so obviously, say for example, like you're thinking about losing weight, stopping smoking, making more money. And you mentioned about horsepower. Let's say someone is inherently lazy. Could you make
Nobody's inherently lazy. But go
so
on.
what so
I'll
okay.
get into that. I'll break it down. Yeah.
Break it down, break it down.
Okay. How can you be inherently lazy? Nobody's born lazy.
What do you mean born
Everybody
lazy?
has energy.
Oh
No,
yeah,
that's
everybody
just,
has
you're not
energy, but like say
motivated, or you're not ambitious, or you're
oh no,
just
you
like,
can be
you just
ambitious,
lounge
bro.
around.
Like you can be ambitious, but like never gives yourself the means to actually achieve something worth it, you know?
What do you mean? How would you be lazy in that case then? What do you
I
mean
don't
when
know,
you
I
say
mean, sure,
lazy?
everything like think about it this way, right? You know exactly what you need to do. Like say for like so many people, for example, on Twitter, right? Or Twitter or some there's so much information available. Oh shit, sorry. Give me a sec.
I thought
There's
that
so
was me.
many
Go on.
people available. Oh, just a chick calling me. Um, there's so many people available. No, reading on Twitter that like stuff that literally could change our lives, right?
Okay.
Information is there, but they never act upon it. So it's not like
Okay.
so you see, it's like what is it? Is it this anxiety you were talking about? Is it like what? What? Tell me.
They just can't see a version of themselves that makes it. It's literally that simple. Their identity, they can't see it. Like, and this is what I do when I hypnotize people. Actually, here's a great example. You work with a lot of guys trying to get laid, right?
Or keeping their relationship, or just
Or
becoming a
keeping their
strong.
relationship, or trying to like put themselves at whatever it is, right? I've hypnotized so many guys like this, right? Is like they're trying to get laid, they keep getting shitty fucking results, and they're like, like they pay for boot camps, they invest all the money into like right, they spend thousands on courses, or you could even apply this to money, right? Like people will, go out, they'll spend money, get courses, and then they won't use the information. Why is that? Right? Is it that they lack information? No, you have more than enough information in order to act. It's that you lack the self-belief to be able to like use that information. You do not see a version of yourself that actually succeeds. So you keep justifying it, and you're stuck in tutorial hell, and you never move forward, right? You never actually use the information. So
Mhm,
it's not that you're lazy, it's that you can't see a version of yourself that actually makes it, that actually succeeds. And we could chalk it up to a lack of confidence. Yeah, it's a lack of confidence, but more importantly, it's you cannot see a version of yourself that actually gets laid, that actually gets the girl, that actually keeps the relationship or has a good relationship, or that makes the millions of dollars, or that does whatever, right? They can't see that version of themselves. Or even we tie back to the Alex Hormozy, Tony Robbins interview. Not sure if you saw that. Great interview.
I
Highly
I
recommend it.
want to see it. I didn't see it, but please, so
Yeah,
for the
he
people that didn't see it like me, please tell us a little bit more.
he uses a lot of hypnotic techniques. So Alex in that interview, he could not see a reality where you can be successful, where you can accomplish a lot and not struggle. He could only see a version of himself. He could only see a reality where you have to struggle for it to be worth it, for you to really mean it. It has to suck. You have to grind. It has to be fucking hell, right? And that's how he made all his money. And so, yeah, that's the reality he lived. He has plenty of proof to justify that, to believe it.
Mhm.
But then Tony's like, no, Alex, that's bullshit. It doesn't have to be that way. In fact, what I do, Tony's a billionaire. He's far more successful than Alex, right? He's like, I do not, I am motivated to go get up in the morning and to help people out. I am attracted to it. I'm pulled towards it. It does, I'm joyous. I feel amazing. I feel so excited to get up in the morning and to make the world a better place and to give back to these kids and to feed all these mouths, right? Is a purpose greater than myself. I don't struggle. I enjoy every fucking second of it. It's not work. It's not effort. It's more effort to not do that than it is just to do it. I'm just getting attracted to my goal, right? That's because he accepts that there's a reality where he can do that, right? Where you can be attracted to that goal, where it doesn't take effort. It doesn't feel like effort. You just do it. It's the same thing with guys, with women. It's the same thing with fucking people that struggle, that think they have to struggle in order to succeed. You don't have to struggle in order to succeed. Who fucking pushed that bullshit? It doesn't have to be a fucking grind. You can get up in the morning and enjoy every second of it.
You see, that's
It doesn't
but
have to feel like work. It can feel
I'll
like
gi I'll
fun. It can be play.
I'll use that example for relationship. It's like people think that by working hard for someone, I mean, especially guys, right? Like it's like, oh, if I work hard for her, she's worth it. So no, you put just more, you put more value on your sweat equity, but it's the fact that at the end of the day, it's the same person at the end. It's like,
Yeah,
but you
it doesn't mean it's
rationalize
worth
the
more.
fact
It
that you
just means,
spend money. It means spend money, energy, whatever. You spend resources, personal resources to get there.
yeah, it's sunk
That's
cost
why you.
fallacy.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's worth more. It just means you think it's worth more. That's why it's worth more. It's not because it is. You just think it is.
but there you go.
You could
Or it's
also
like,
have a relationship where you view it as it's worth less the more you spend. But I mean, people don't tend to view it that way, but you could, right?
and
Like, and
think
this,
about
by
it
the
this
way, this does get into
way.
framing because all this is at the end of the day, it's just your framing on reality, how you perceive things.
And there's also another thing which I think is very important, like using framing and like for example, when you're saying is it just it's they don't have the vision of being with of being sexual with that girl or like
Or
or being
seeing
with
themselves as sexual in many cases.
yeah, exactly. So think about it this way, like typical type of date where like before the date comes, it's like he knows he's already got her, so he acts in a way that basically is conducive of the outcome, right? So yeah. So,
But yeah,
you know,
oh, I've done
but
that
then
so many times.
so sorry, repeat? I didn't hear.
I was gonna say I've done that so many times. I viewed like when I go up to a girl, I assume attraction. I assume I already know they're attracted to me. I already know they want to fuck me.
All right,
So
and
then
then
at that point, you go in with that energy, and then guess what? You're more attractive because you act more attractive.
what happens sometimes you'll deal with shit tests, with whatever bullshit, no, 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 no. If and then it's about really testing how strong is that reality for you to get to that outcome. Technically, it's like instead of getting baselines, I mean, instead of beginner level, right? Where you can, let's say you assume attraction, blah, 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 blah. What you see as shit tests are not shit tests anymore. They are, you know, programs, that that you have to just solve in order to get to the next stage. But you do that unconsciously because your sense of reality is stronger than hers. Am
Yeah,
I?
I mean, your self belief is stronger, right? Like you're just yeah. I mean, your belief is stronger. Um, Sense of reality is actually an interesting thing.
But because yeah, like
Because
that's
the
so
well,
so.
actually, the
Gone,
people
gone.
most confident in their reality test it the most. You test your reality more than other people, right? I'm gonna
How
test that
how
my
do people
theory
test?
about people is right. What?
How do you? I mean, like, what do you mean by testing? Give me some examples. Like,
You essentially like so for example, right? If I have a theory about how somebody works, of how the world works, I go out and I immediately test it. Or I test it in a couple hours or a couple days, right? I find an opportunity to test it. It could be when it comes to social interactions. I'm like, oh, if I view it this way or act this way, girls are going to be more receptive, right? Or this happened weeks ago. Is like I started viewing social interactions at the time through like a rhythm, right? I would feel the rhythm in the interaction and then I would go with it, right? I would just feel out the rhythm, what I felt that was the rhythm. And that night, I literally had three girls come up to me, try to like they were trying to essentially convince me to fuck them, right? When previously I went out of my way to go cold approach girls, right? But now I have them just coming to me because I'm just sensing that energy, throwing a little bit out there. And then I'm like, okay, do you want to come? Do you want to come into my world? I'm going to invite you into my world. You're welcome to stay if your energy's cool, but if not, you can leave. So that was like a theory. I wrote an article about it, right? The rhythm, social, all social interactions are a rhythm or whatever. And then I immediately went out into the world and tested it. I wanted to see if my reality was right? If I was correct. And this applies to everything I do is like if I have a thought, I have an emotion, I think the world is supposed to be a certain way, I immediately go test it to see if it's right, to see if it gets me what I think it'll get me, to see if it'll, if I'll have the outcome I think I'll have. I don't really care if the outcome's wrong. No, 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 I do. I can't, right? I want what I want. But at the end of the day, if I don't get the outcome I want, I'm not butthurt about it. I'm like, cool, that just means I wasn't right there. Cool. Now let me adjust it so I can have a more accurate version of reality. So the people with the strongest reality are the people that test it the most because they're also the most confident as well. Because it's like you're not going to test a reality unless you're confident about it or confident that it'll work out.
I mean, like, I mean, I don't know, like when you test reality, what's the purpose of you testing reality? For me, like when I do, it's most because I want to understand attribution mechanism. I want to say, okay, well, is that variable that important in order to get to that outcome? Not because I care so much about the outcome, but more I care as in the link between the outcome and the variable. I don't
Yeah.
know
I
if
mean, the only way you can self actualize is by actually actualizing. Actualizing is an action. You can't just like sit back and just have it happen to you. You have to go out and like take action in the world in order to like actualize. So yeah, it's nothing having to do with the outcome at the end of the day. Like a good reason for guys to get amazing going out, talking to girls, hooking up with them, or like you don't have to hook up with them, but whatever you want, right? A huge reason for that is because it forces you to self actualize. It forces you to get attuned to the world and attuned to women's emotions because women are so sensitive, right? So if you can have that level of attunement, well, guess what? You'll get more of what you want out of life because you're able to pick up on the subtleties better and interact with them and get more of what you want, right?
yeah, it's like I mean, again, right? It's almost now. It's interesting when I look at it, and it you see, for example, how you started going on Twitter, right? You didn't like, you didn't. How many followers you got now?
I think like 14,000.
Yeah, I think back maybe a year ago or something, you had like 3 or 4 thousand. You know, like it kind of
But
like
yeah, that grew
yeah, go ahead.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and you had it like for a long period of time, right? That Twitter, but you didn't
But yeah.
even, and you didn't even plan on posting stuff, right?
No, it just
You
came
didn't
to
even
me and then
plan
I
on
just
posting.
posted it. It's still that to this day. It just comes to me and I post it.
Thing. Like I was on Twitter maybe like because my friend told me, "Oh, man, like send me so many stuff on Twitter," and I was like, "All right, look, I'll just download the fucking app." And then I was like, didn't do shit for like 2, 3 years, or maybe like, and then like a couple of years back or 2.5 years ago, I was like, oh, I'll just post some stuff. He said, "Hey, why don't you post that?" And then later on, here I am. You know, it's funny how the world works with randomness, right? Like you
But
something
yeah.
so you know, you fall into hypnotherapy, hypnosis. Sorry, I'm just using hypnotherapy because the long-term ex who got trained into it.
Interesting.
That's
Okay.
that's that's how I always refer that back to. And I think that you don't like the term that, so please, bear with me if I use it. It's not
Oh no,
because
no, it's fine. I don't. It's just the content. Like so many hypnotherapists, they're so bad. They're so bad, and it really just ruins the name of the industry. Because I'm like, and I don't identify with the industry. I'm just like, if you're not getting people into somnambulism, you're not getting people results. Or if you do, it's because they're part of the 30% of the population that's just gets that's easy to hypnotize. It's not because you're actually good. You just found the 30% or 30, 40%. So it's like, I mean, you ask most hypnotherapists, they don't know what somnambulism is. I'm like, that's such a basic fundamental. Like, I got on a call with this hypnotherapist, very popular on Twitter too, the other day. He paid like 15,000 to go to hypnotherapy school, right? He didn't
Mhm.
know what somnambulism was. I'm like, what? You don't know the you don't know the foundational fucking element of all of this? So you don't know if you're getting people results. You're essentially telling people to imagine themselves when they were a fucking Indian in a past life and identifying with it, and that'll tell them where they should go in life. Like what past life regression? It's fucking bullshit. What the fuck are you talking about? No, I'm going to deal with your problems that you tell me you have. I'm going to dig underneath those patterns, find those programs, going to rip out your limiting beliefs, and then I'm going to install new ones that actually get you what the fuck you want out of life. Not fucking play this little game where I pretend to be this little magician that hypnotizes you into seeing yourself as a fucking fairy. Like, it pisses me off because, like, hypnosis really changes people's lives. I've
And let
done
me ask you
everything
this.
and I didn't get any results until hypnosis. Not really. It was slow and painful.
Let me ask you this, right? For example,
Yeah.
like, for me, I'm always this type of person that don't like to, badmouth people or,
I
because
don't
I
give a
find,
shit. If you earn it, you earn it. But anyways.
yeah, no, but but I understand why some other people do it, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's really because they believe it, and just from you, I can see that like the energy coming from you, right? It's very much not doing that as a marketing or whatever. Is you're actually really believing in it, right? But my question to you is, how come you're much better than those other people, even though you have less experience? Because fell in-
Well,
you fell into it very recently.
yeah, I'm glad you asked. Any chance to show off how talented and amazing I am, I'll always take. Now, yes, actually, that is not bullshit.
I
That
could
is true.
challenge you a
I
little
will
bit.
step into every fucking moment I can to show off. Because anyways, so the reason why I'm so much better is A, I'm fucking smart. Like that, I just take in more information. That's just a fact, right? Two, I've worked through so much of my trauma. I can understand where anybody is at in the spectrum of change, right? I've been homeless, so I know what it feels like to be homeless. I've been emotionally fucking beaten down to almost losing my willpower as a child, being lied to every single fucking day, being told that my reality isn't real, being, just abused, not having any love, right? Or their own fucked up version of love, right? I grew up in fucking hell, right? I had to learn social skills from the very bottom. I've been obese at one point. I was 200 fucking 50 pounds or whatever.
Fuck me.
Right? I've almost killed myself like 3 times, right? Like, I've had severe fucking, like, I once had this, I won't get into that. But anyways, I've had severe fucking problems my entire life, and I've had to figure out and solve all of it, right? I was starting out 50 fucking steps behind everybody else in life. I don't even have a high school diploma. Like, I didn't even graduate high school. When I went to college, and I dropped out of college, right? When I went to college, I tested into the lowest level of English and math. One level above ESL, which is a non-English speaker, so essentially the immigrant that just came to the US, that was my level of understanding of the English written language. I could speak better, but like I couldn't write for shit, right? I didn't know what a paragraph was at fucking 18. I didn't know what a fucking paragraph was at 18. I was not educated at all. Right? Not only that, arithmetic, basic arithmetic, addition and subtraction, right? The next fucking semester, I tested into the highest levels of both of English and math, but then I dropped out, right? Because I had a psychotic break due to Adderall, so drug usage, right? Adderall induced psychosis, and then right ended up homeless, then got back. I was living in my car, but then I got out of that. I pulled myself out of that, right? I'm saying all of this, and I did not know how to talk to women, right? I did not know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to connect on any level, any way, shape, or form. So I've had to overcome all these problems to first catch up to everybody and then surpass them, right? So I've dealt with pretty much every problem across the spectrum. So I understand what it's like at whatever position you are at in life. I can understand what it feels like to want to give up on life, to not know how to change, to have your head smashed up against the wall, endlessly bleeding, just not making progress, and how hopeless and shitty that feels. So I can put myself in your shoes and understand it. I understand what it's like to be traumatized in the most severe ways or along any spectrum of that. So I understand what it feels like to have that happen to you and how to pull you out. I understand what it takes to, lose the weight and find the motivation to do that. Or what it feels like to binge eat and lose control over that. I also had a binge eating problem for a while, right? And at the same time, I also understand what it's like to not make any money and then make a bunch of money. And just, I understand all these problems across the spectrum. So, first, I'm able to identify where you're at. Second, I'm able to put you into a trance, right? I can put you into a trance, and this is really powerful, is because I was emotionally abused so severely growing up, I know what it means to hurt somebody. I know how to hurt people if I really want to. And I can hurt them in ways that shake them to their fucking core. And that does make me a dangerous individual if I used it for evil. I could torment people in ways they didn't even fucking understand, right? I've seen real evil in the fucking face. When you literally think you're going to die at fucking 4 years old because your dad is like tricking you by pulling out a board with rusty nails in it when he told you you'll die from tetanus if you step on it, right? And he does that because you stole some fucking coins at 3 years old. And he pulls out that metal board and he's like, I'm doing this because I love you. And you think you're going to die and you're begging and pleading for your life at fucking 3 years old. You have to contemplate that level of evil that you would do against your child. Like,
Mhm.
I know what it takes to hurt somebody, but at the same time, the same thing it takes to hurt somebody is the same thing it takes to break past a lot of people's mental defenses. You can
Oh,
only
yeah?
break past the mental defenses if you understand what it feels like to have them broken through. So I'm able to take that to break past the mental defenses and then to install the programming, right? So I can identify wherever you're at with and any problem that you have. I can find the weakness, the chink in your armor that it will take to break through and actually get access to your subconscious mind. And then I can program your subconscious mind with whatever you want to get out of life, right? Hypnosis, it's just a technique to get access to the subconscious mind at the end of the day. You can do that by elevating someone's emotions. You can elevate someone's emotions by bringing them through and it's not a miserable experience. I know I just kind of framed it that way a little bit. I'm not sitting down and emotionally abusing you for an hour. That's not it at all. No, it's that it's because I'm able to because I also lived in a state of hyper awareness. I'm analyzing every little micro movement or every little action. Every time your foot clicks and you say this one sentence, I can see that. Every time you have a feeling that comes up and there's a little bit of a micro expression or a flinch that you may not even be aware of, I can pick that up because my life was constantly in danger as a child. So I had to become attuned and aware of those things, right? So I'm very tapped into body language and emotions and trying to understand what you actually mean because I had to, because my survival depended on it. So I'm able to take all that information plus the hypnotic techniques I learned to break through the mental defenses and get access to the subconscious mind, and then I'm able to rewire your brain in a way just due to my own verbal intelligence. Very high verbal IQ. I'm very persuasive in that way, and I have a very strong philosophical foundation for like life itself in general and understanding of the mind because I've studied all these psychologists, I've studied all these philosophical models, I've studied all these interpretations on reality, and I've created my own version of it that I think is really good. So then I know how to formulate speech in a way that has the strongest symbolic meaning in your head because I'm able to understand what symbolic authority you identify with. Then I can reflect that back to you and then essentially create a reality where you get what you want out of life and you feel compelled to do it, you feel attracted to it. It feels like it's harder to not do it than it is to do it. And I mean, that's really just what makes me better. Is like if nobody else can replicate my experience because nobody else has been through what I've been through in the way I've been through. Most hypnotherapists, what you had to fucking you couldn't fucking lose weight as a kid or whatever, or I don't know, your parents were a little mean to you, or told you to fucking do homework, or you just want to help people out and hypnotize them and play this little game where you're just a little hypnotherapist where you just snap your fingers and people get their lives changed. No, it's not that for me at all. It's like I genuinely want to help people out and get them the change they want out of life and use all my pain and suffering, all my experience to get you there. Because otherwise, what was the fucking point of it all if I'm not going to use it? Like this feels like my life's purpose. So there's that level of passion behind it too, where there's no amount of bullshit you can throw in my direction that's going to break my frame, that's going to stop me from getting you what you want out of life. You just got to be honest with me about what you want out of life, then I'll help you get it. If you don't know what you want out of life, then that's a different problem to solve, and I can do that too. Because for many years, I didn't know what I wanted out of life, right? So I tried everything. I tried fucking everything. I had like over 20 fucking jobs. I've dated girls across the whole spectrum. I fucking experimented with so many different drugs and substances and lifestyles. And like, I've tried so many different things, right? My parents were even in a cult growing up, right? Grew up with a hyper religious background where I had to read the Bible every single fucking day and then deal with all that shit, right? Like, I tried everything out. I'm very open minded, right? But at the same time, when I'm stubborn and I want something or I want to convince somebody, I will convince you of it no matter what. I know my conviction is stronger than anybody I'm dealing with because I've had to also refine that growing up because I would argue with my parents for hours despite the beatings or the emotional manipulation. If I felt something was wrong, I would fight for hours and they would always give up. They would always try to dole some punishment out, but it was never enough to actually break me. So, whatever bullshit you bring up during the session, that's not going to work. That's just not going to work.
Well, hold on,
You have
hold on.
no idea what you're dealing with.
Ask me this. Let me ask you this. You said, well, I mean, if you bring the person into a state of somnambulism, right? How can they argue with you? They're asleep. I mean, they're
They
not
can't.
asleep right yet. They
Well,
can?
no, no. See, no. So, here's what it is. And this is what makes hypnosis so fascinating because you're not aware you're getting hypnotized. There's
Mm,
not like a there's not like a I'm getting hypnotized versus I'm not. Your conscious mind is still taking in information and perceiving it as in control and in control of reality. But subconsciously, your subconscious mind is in control. And a good way to test that is I had this guy over, right? I hypnotize him. I'm like, okay, when you wake up, you're gonna try to look at your phone and you won't see it. Your phone will be invisible. In fact, the more you try to look at your phone, the harder it'll become to look at it. Tell him to open his eyes. He looks at his phone for a split second, then he looks away. I'm like, cool, sleep, all the way deep, all the way down. Send him in. I'm like, this phone is now completely invisible. It's impossible to look at it. You can't even acknowledge it. You will not acknowledge this phone's existence to me, no matter what. Open your eyes. I'm like, what's in my hand? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, what's in my hand? He's like, I don't know. There's nothing in your hand. I don't see anything. And his eyes literally will not focus on the phone. I'm like, sleep all the way deep, all the way down. Then I tell him to wake back up again. I'm like, you saw the phone? He's like, yeah, I saw the phone. I'm like, then why didn't you acknowledge it? He's like, I couldn't. It's a fucking trip, dude. Because consciously, your mind is online, right? You can perceive reality. He could see the phone. He could not subconsciously acknowledge it. Your conscious mind and subconscious mind are two different things. So once you're hypnotized and your subconscious mind is in control, it doesn't matter what the fuck you see or do, you cannot stop whatever I'm saying to you.
okay.
There's no switch. You don't know when you're getting hypnotized. But at the same time, the people in charge, right? Hypnosis has been studied for decades, is they know this. You're getting hypnotized all the time, whether you know it or not.
Hmm.
All it takes to hypnotize somebody is to get past what we call the critical filter. The critical filter is what lies between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. It's what prevents information from getting into your subconscious mind. That critical filter is formulated in your formative years, right? When you're a kid, when you're a preteen, when you're a teenager, and when you're a young adult. Tells you what information you allow in, and that's also like your beliefs create the critical filter. So if you don't believe you can make money, you will literally miss out on every single opportunity to make money around you. If you don't believe you're attractive, you won't notice the girls that are smiling at you and that want to fuck you. You'll only notice the girls that are not into you, right? And vice versa. If you think every girl wants to fuck you, you'll see every single opportunity to fuck you come across in your day-to-day life, right? If you believe you can make money and money's really easy to make, you'll see every easy opportunity to make money there is. So at the same time, is if you can identify what people care about, what they identify with, you can slip knowledge into their mind. You can slip programming into their mind because once the critical filter is open, you can just program whatever you want in there. And social media algorithms do this amazing. That's why they're so fucking powerful, is because they just reflect back to you what you want to see, and then they can slip in programming, whatever programming they want. And it's not for your benefit.
And by the way, isn't that how social media were programming? Were programmed by hypnosis and by a lot of those behavioralist people, in order to get people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and they may not know it's hypnosis at the end of the day. There's a lot of different words for
Yeah,
hypnosis. You could call it NLP, you could call it persuasion, you can call it whatever the fuck you want. But at the end of the day, it is hypnosis, and it
like
is
for
putting them
example,
into a trance.
because when we were talking earlier, like before we started recording, like for example, you were talking about fractioning, right? And it's like if you look at fractioning, some people will call it trauma bonding, some people will call it, like,
You could also just
toxic.
call it bonding too. But yeah, like if
Yeah,
somebody
no, but
goes
like
through a really
there's a
tough
morality.
situation with somebody, well, it's like, I mean, people that go to war, they're very bonded to those people. Is that a bad
Yeah,
thing? No, it means you have
oh,
your boys back,
100%.
right? Can be the same thing in a relationship. Doesn't mean you're trauma bonding. Could just mean you went through something together and you came out
And
the
look,
other side, right? It doesn't
the
have to
thing
be
is,
negative, but go on.
but the but the point is, right? The point is, it's like it's called trauma because it's intense, it's deep. But
Yeah.
generally, people that give power to people, and when you give power to people, usually it corrupts, right? Not everyone can.
Yep.
The like the best relationships you're going to have are the one where it's deep and where it's and where both people are in control. Where both people
Yeah.
are in
Oh,
control.
absolutely.
And 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 the thing is, and I think we didn't really touch upon it beforehand, but like where in a sense is if you've been there on the receiving end or even on the on how do you say on the
The giving
perpetrating
end.
the
Yeah.
giving end or the receiving end, it's like once you go there, right, uh you can't really feel anything of the same level that is below that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that is real.
Yeah. You kind of get used to like that level of stimulation, we'll say.
That's it. Like that's
That
why
excitement. Yeah.
that's why I said, like, if a girl has been has been with a toxic guy beforehand, it's like unless you're at the very least at the same level of quote unquote toxic, there's not going to be any bonding because she's never going to be stimulated to that level. And that's something that people were disagreeing with me. It's like, oh, those like healthy bonding, healthy relationship. Yeah, healthy is fucking boring. It's like you don't
Yeah.
engage
Well,
people.
yeah.
No, you don't engage people. I'm using those terms just as anchoring mechanism, not really because I believe in those terms. Just saying, right? It's more. It's like kind of more contractual, more how do I say, procedural type of normie like bonding, right? It's kind of like if a person has been out of that spectrum, they're out for good because if it's like you've
I don't
tasted.
think they're out for good, but I think in general, yeah,
Yeah, but
you're
they
not gonna
won't
get
feel
them
the
to the
same. They
same
won't feel
level
the
of
same.
bonding. Yeah.
They won't
No,
feel the same.
I posted about that theory a while ago. I'm like, the reason why I like girls that are like inexperienced is because they haven't experienced the level of depth I'm able to give them. Now, by the way, with my understanding, I know for a fact no girl is able to experience the level of depth I can give them. So I don't really give a shit if they've been with a fucking guy that's toxic. I can be more toxic. No, I'm just playing. No,
Yeah.
it's a joke, but you can also be toxically positive, right? It's about the intensity of the emotion that you give them. That could be a positive emotion or a negative emotion, or it could be both that exist along a spectrum, right? I am the most intense guy that like pretty much everybody in my life knows, right? Just because I mean, I was forged in the fucking fire, right? We could call it that. So it's like, and that's also why it's like at the end of the day, like I realized I don't really care if a girl's been with guys because I'm not afraid that I'm gonna not be able to give her a level of experience she's experienced before. But if you don't know if you're capable of that, then yeah, you're gonna give a fuck about body count. You're gonna give a fuck about like
It's
if
not
she's
about.
dated toxic guys. And
No, no,
it's not, I'm not saying that's a bad thing too. Just recognize where you're at the same time.
no,
Like
it's
not
more.
everybody wants somebody that's been in a toxic relationship, justifiably so.
No, because it's more about, say, for example, right? You're someone that just want to have like a normal relationship and shit, right? And you like that girl, for example. And you're like, and like she likes you, but you can tell like it's like she's not giving herself fully away type of stuff, right? So it's like, and you don't know what's missing. I'm just saying that's what's missing. I'm not saying that you need to feel bad about it or that you need to rise up to the level
Yeah.
about it. It's about what are you willing as a guy willing to provide, put up with, whatever you want to go,
Yeah.
however you want to it, in order to be with that person. Because in order to be with that person, there are costs and there are, and there's value. But is the cost worth
Absolutely.
value? And it's like it's
Recognize
not
it
so
for
much about.
yourself. Yeah.
No, but that's it. And it's like it's not about that you're not enough as a person. It's like there's a compatibility issue if you
Well, no,
basically.
no, 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 no. No, it is at the same time. You are not enough in the way that that person needs,
Yes,
not that you aren't enough, just
yes.
not for them. And that's
No, but
fine.
that's it. That's it. That's
That's
what I'm saying.
life.
No, no, no. It's like it's not the matter that you're not enough for yourself, right? It's a
No,
matter that.
everybody's enough inherently.
Yeah,
Just doesn't mean you're going to
exactly.
be able to give them what they want or need. And
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good thing. Recognize that early on and move the fuck on.
that's it. But that
Make
that's
your
it
life
because
easier, right?
no, that's exactly it. By the way, this is just for people that think that it's actually a sales pitch for your stuff. No, it's just because you're too fucking intense, man. I'm telling
No,
you.
I know. No, I. Well, no, I end up selling it without trying to sell it because it's just
Hey
it is
man,
what it is.
hey man,
Yeah, I'm passionate about it. I can't help but fucking want to share it with people, right? If you think you're
yeah,
fucking, if you think you're Jesus, you're gonna fucking preach on the corner. I don't, for the
Exactly.
record. But
Yeah,
the
like,
people that do, they sure as shit preach on the corner. But
maybe I should take a little bit more of that because let's say maybe my Catholic background is making me a bit more demure about this. But you know, the
good,
thing
yeah.
is, and the thing is, if you really believe that you can help people, that's what you'll do. That's what you'll do. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's an obligation. Like, I had this client the other day. This guy came to me, like, he told me some stuff I'm not gonna get into here,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
of
had a
course.
moral conundrum. I'm like, "Hey, I can either walk away and fucking do some stuff to this guy, right?
Hmm.
Or, right, I'm in a moral conundrum. I'm forced to like have to make a decision here. Or I can try to save this guy. I can try to help this guy. I can try to rewire his brain so that never happens again in the future and there's no risk of that. Not saying anything too heinous for the record. I know I'm kind of leaving it open, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it's shit that would hurt people. I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't want to create a world where people hurt people. I want a world where people help people, right? It's cliche,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, that's what I firmly want. And that's what I believe I could do. So I'm like, okay, I am going to put everything I have on the line in this moment. And it got so intense. I almost fucking slapped that guy. And I would have if that's what I needed to do in order to get him to go in. He went in without having to do that, right? This guy's entire fucking personality just shifted radically in a moment, right? This guy was stuck severely before. This guy was stuck. He came to me, his face looked fucking gross, right? He was like fucking failing in every part of his life. He was not able to fucking have relationships with women. Any relationship he had always turned toxic. He didn't get fucking laid in like a year and a half, and he's just like pent up and stuck and repressed. And like, that's never a good recipe for a guy. You got to express your sexuality. Otherwise, that shit starts perverting, right? So I'm like,
Hmm.
all right, how the fuck am I going to do this? So I pulled him out of that fucking mess. He texts me literally like 45 minutes later. And he was trying to get fucking, he was trying to work past this issue for years, and he couldn't make progress. He texts me. He's like, yeah, I hooked up with that girl that I've been trying to. I'm just like, yeah, that's how you know you really got change right there. When their life changes so dramatically, when a guy that couldn't get laid all of a sudden gets laid, you're just like, yeah, I got you unblocked. In fact, he looked in the mirror after I was done. He's like, dude, I can actually see my core again. Like he was so backed up and so repressed that he couldn't even see his midsection, right? It couldn't even move. So, like, yeah, this shit really fucking works. Like, it really fucking changes people's lives. And I even had a client too. This guy's like 300 pounds, overweight, can't stop binge eating. Comes to me. He literally cuts out the fucking bullshit eating, goes to the gym. Even his fucking Muay Thai trainer is like, yeah, dude, I feel like you're finally ready to change. Like, let me work with you. Let me help you. And like he gave him like he's offering him free coaching now. Like this really fucking changes people's lives. I even have a testimonial on my Twitter from yesterday. This guy's like, yeah, I fucking quit my job. I moved to Palo Alto. I'm in the best relationship I've been in my life. My binge eating and my exercise is finally in check, finally in control, all thanks to this one session. And that's when I first started out, and that's when I actually really sucked in comparison to where I'm at now. So like this gets real change. This really fucking gets change, and I hate therapy. Oh my God, I hate therapy. Cause like we just talk about our bullshit all day long and we don't actually solve the problem. You create your problems by focusing on them. If you focus on them less, they become a smaller problem or they disappear. It becomes a problem when you focus on it. You make it a problem because you loop on it.
All right. All right. It's like, but that again goes back to framing. I think another
How you
area,
frame your issues. Yeah.
yeah, how you frame your issues, like, um, another area which I think could be very interesting and is part of you, part of your journey, and that ties as well with what you were saying earlier, which is, because of your upbringing, because of the trials and tribulation in your life that basically not only made you more resilient, but more vigilant, focused, however you want to call it, or
It
aware.
also made me decide to be a good person because I could have easily been a
Yeah.
fucking bad, evil person too. That just means I'm really fucking
You
sold on
wanted
my
to
bullshit if
break
it's
the
true.
cycle of, abuse, repeat, and all
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, so saying that you were with a malignant narcissistic father and you were with a EPD mother. I mean, it's quite funny
Yep.
because generally the two tend to to go together. But
Oh, yeah,
uh,
it makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, you know. what would you say? Because I want, I want this podcast to be actually be useful for the audience, outside of how you can help them from a hypnosis perspective, but just how to spot patterns from two from two different type of personality disorders that you experience firsthand, which makes you way more, how do I say, perfectly acute for
Yeah.
those
Oh,
that.
I also had a paranoid schizophrenic brother too.
Okay, well, and just
Yeah.
third
That's
time
a
that.
whole other thing. But yeah, yeah, we'll just throw on a fucking wild card there. Technically, anyways, no, go on. I won't share that. Go on.
So what would be interesting is, well, not only for the two, but also for your paranoid schizophrenic brother. Could you list a little bit about the well, like those signs, those mechanisms, those indicators to look out for in order to avoid getting yourself entangled with people that have these issues.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, intensity is probably the strongest indicator, right? It's really hard to differentiate between like passion and like passion, like person. Okay, so personality disorders, it's a very complex topic because it's like, are they doing it on purpose or are they not? I think they're not. I think they're trying to get their needs met, and this is just the best way they know how. At the same time, that doesn't mean you need to be the person that tries to meet their needs. In fact, you probably aren't the person that tries to meet their needs, right? So, like with women, I mean, emotional instability, I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. If that's not what you're on board for, if that's not what you want, if you're not the kind of guy that's able to give that level of stability or that wants that level of drama, just check out, dude. Like, cause she's just gonna run circles around you. You're gonna be constantly shaken to your core. You're gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing wrong? Fuck, how can I do? And right, you're just like, you fall into their frame ultimately, and then you're just getting tossed and turned like a rag doll, right? So really the I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you. That's the biggest sign when it comes to women. And honestly, with men too, I'd say. Like I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you based off small little things. If it's a healthy relationship, they're not gonna hate you because you made a little mistake. They're just not. They're not gonna freak the fuck out like that. They're gonna give you space to be able to make mistakes, but also give you grace to be able to come back and say, "Hey, I'm sorry." It won't be perceived as a mistake, right? You can make a little mistake and then it's not a big deal. It's like, "Oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh, cool. My bad." Right? Or it doesn't even come up, right? I'd say intensity plus the I love you, I hate you. Like that's honestly the simplest way to do it. Cause I mean, outside that, it's very like it's very kind of hard to describe because I don't agree with the therapeutic terms when it comes
Hmm.
to diagnosing borderline personality disorder and when it comes to diagnosing narcissistic because they're simply too liberal with the diagnosis nowadays. Every
Yeah.
fucking girl technically exists along a spectrum of borderline personality disorder.
Oh,
Every
I
girl
mean,
does.
man, I Google, no, I Google, I chat GPT. Can you give me the main traits of NPDs, right? And I was like, well, hold on, that's about 99% of girls.
Exactly, exactly. So it's like, wait, what are we doing here? Right. So I actually think borderline personality disorder is like essentially their femininity and their ability to
Yes.
manipulate.
Sorry,
Right.
I totally agree. The more BPD like she is, the more feminine she is.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, no, it's femininity plus the emotional instability plus the hardest ones to manage or to deal with are the ones that are intelligent, right? My mom was an incredibly intelligent woman. She ran circles around my father looking back. Like I didn't realize it at the time, but no, like my dad was a moron in comparison to her. And she was incredibly emotionally unstable. Like she was also abused as a child. And then like, in fact, I remember one time I walked in when my parents were getting divorced, I walked into the house and I see my mom sitting on the floor when she's like having a crisis mode. She's literally sitting on the floor, drawing with crayons in her coloring books, doing ha 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 ha, ha, just humming when the house is a fucking mess. Her life completely fell apart, and she's sitting like a 5-year-old kid drawing, with coloring books on the ground. She just reverted back to that past state, right? It was a disturbing sight to see, but it was also sad at the same time because I'm like, oh, that's probably the age of which her abuse occurred that caused her mind to fraction, right? That caused her mind to split. So she reverts between this I'm a mom and I'm a child, and she flips between those two states. And because she's not emotionally mature, she tries to get her needs met as a child. And what does a child do? A child manipulates emotionally because they don't know how to have a conversation to get their needs met. Right.
So
So
it
it's
would be
like,
like BPD is femininity, emotional instability, and what else?
and well, and intelligence. If it like, because the more intelligent you are, the more sophisticated your manipulation can be.
Hmm.
Right.
Uh,
If
and
you're, if not, then it's, yeah, it's just femininity and emotional instability. If she's super emotionally unstable, fucking run. For most guys, run, because you're not equipped to handle that. Yeah, it's fun. It feels good. It's toxic, but like you're not, you can't handle that drama unless you know what you're signing up for. Then just know what you're signing up for and don't get your fucking heart broken or your life ruined because you know what the fuck you signed up for. Put on your big boy pants. Yeah, she's fun, but she's dangerous because you don't know what you're doing.
oh, it's like if you're not completely like either emotionally fried, it's like, don't go
Yeah,
there, man.
you got to, well, okay, so you have to have such a strong handle on your reality that you can't get swayed by hers, right? You have to have such a strong frame on your reality that nobody can suck you out of it if you want to date like the borderline personality chick, right? I can now date girls that have those symptoms, and I don't think they're all, like I said, I think it's a spectrum of femininity, right? So it's like every single girl will have her moments where she aligns on that spectrum. I do not believe that means she has borderline personality disorder. I think that should be reserved for the really tough cases like my mother, right? She is insane.
And let me ask
Most
you,
girls are not,
yeah, yeah, let me ask you this.
So give them
So
grace. But yeah,
if,
be
if
nice.
BP,
Like,
right, if BPD is femininity plus intelligence plus emotional instability, what would be NPD for women then? If you,
I don't think NPD for a woman exists. I think it's just BPD, just more egotistical.
mhm. Okay, so more, it's kind
Right.
of like a
Yeah.
more masculine version of it.
Well, I just think NPD is the masculine version of BPD.
Mm, interesting. Well,
Right. Like, yeah,
in a way, it makes
I don't,
sense. In a
yeah,
way, it
it's
makes
just like, yeah, or go on.
no, because you're, it's kind of like the BPD that goes with the NPD is kind of like, like the polarity kind of stuff, right? It's like masculine and
Yeah,
feminine.
exactly.
No,
Yeah. Men are more
and
egotistical. Yeah. Women are more fucking feminine and emotionally unstable. They balance each other out, right? The narcissists fucking, they have a false grip on reality. They have a false mask that they're trying to project and put out to the world. So therefore that is stable. Their ego is stable but fragile at the same time. Right? It's such a strong mask that any perceived slight, right? I could just simply critique my father in the slightest way and he would blow the fuck up because he would take it as a personal slight, as if I'm attacking his value as a human being. But in reality, hey, dad, I'm curious about this. Oh, I asked you one too many questions and now you feel stupid. So now you're going to punch me in the leg in the car and say we're playing a game when I'm crying and it hurts. That's just because I tested your mask, right? You felt that little pain inside you. Your mask, you begin to slip. You feel unstable about your value as a human. So now you try to take that unstableness and then you try to force it onto everyone around you. You try to force it onto the world. You try to overcompensate. Hey, caught myself doing this at times too, and a lot of men do this to women, unfortunately. And I really do feel bad for women because of this. And they have to put up with a lot of bullshit. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's not the case. Like women are fucking saints at the end of the day because they put up with so much bullshit from men. It's fucked up. It's sad and it's pathetic for on the guy's end. Like, don't be so goddamn sensitive. So what happens is women, there's some smart fucking women out there, right? Like there's some really, really smart women. Like women are fucking intelligent. Like they're intelligent creatures, right? And most guys that really threatens them because they view their intelligence as like the end all be all. That's how they have superiority. That's their value as a man, is their intelligence. So when a woman points out something and it makes them feel stupid, you may not be consciously aware of it, but just some part of you just feels a little stupid. You're like, fuck, right? Is you'll sense that and then you'll try to flip it onto them and try to gaslight them in a sense, be like, oh no, you're actually the stupid one. Or you won't even try to do that. You'll just try to change the conversation and just try to make them feel stupid, right? That's flipping right? You're trying to overcompensate for your feeling of stupidity. It's not that you're actually stupid, it's that you're not an infallible God and everybody makes mistakes. Not everybody's logic is airtight and solid. A
no,
woman
no,
bringing
but the
that to
thing
your
is,
attention
sorry,
shouldn't trigger you.
but the thing
What?
is, it's like you'll have women that may be smart, but maybe smart, let's say, like in the man's sense of way, you know what I'm saying? But, are so egotistical that they basically don't understand how to actually convey their smartness. They may be smart intellectually, but emotionally they're retarded. Like I've seen
Well,
the
I
point.
mean, they're women. They're
Yeah,
emotionally unstable.
no, but like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, I'm like I recognize some women are intelligent, of their own regards. Like, like let's say just again for framing purposes, not because it has validity in and of itself. There are women that are very intelligent from an IQ perspective. They are lacking deeply in emotional quotient, very deeply, and it's
Yeah, I
and
love
and it's
those
like
women too, because like I balance it out. But yeah,
yeah, and it's like and what they don't realize is they actually function like guys. They function like guys in the sense of they're very sensitive. And it's like, but what they've done, what they don't do is what they do is they actually speak in a way that is going to trigger somebody else's ego, right? And it's like, and then they'll project the fact that the person is egotistical when their way of framing things is ego driven, So it's kind of
yeah.
like
Well, I mean,
very,
and guys do the same shit. So it's like,
you know,
what are
that's
we
what I'm
like?
saying.
This
They
is why the whole
replicate how
fucking
they
discourse
replicate
between
what guys
men
talk.
and women is so frustrating. I'm like, we both pull shit. Why the fuck are we just blaming women, or why the fuck are we just blaming guys? Like, let's be real. Everyone's fucked up and lost.
No.
Like everyone has their issues. But back to the original point of the topic and the reason why I brought this up. Narcissistic personality disorder is primarily a male disorder. I've never seen a female instance. Borderline is female. And that's just because the emotional component and the emotional instability component, right? A narcissist isn't as emotionally unstable in the sense that they just flip their emotions so easily. They can get angry very easily, but for the most part, they have an extreme amount of repression that funnels into that mask, right? So
Yeah.
it's like I could never question my father, right? And it's the same thing, and it manifests, and it's still a spectrum, right? Men exist on the narcissistic personality disorder spectrum too. So it's just like that situation where that girl made me feel stupid. She didn't make me feel stupid. I felt stupid, and then I tried to make her feel stupid, right? But I felt stupid, and then I tried to flip that on her. That's so common with guys, right? And with girls with borderline, is it like manifests as like you do something that makes her feel insecure. Let's say with the borderline, let's say you just like a girl's post on fucking Instagram and she sees that. Now she feels like she's not valuable or she feels like you're not attracted to her. So now she starts attacking you and starts manipulating you or starts trying to, make you stop seeing other women or try to guilt trip you into doing this, and this. If you are not rock solid in your reality in that moment, you're going to get ragdolled. You need to be like, no, this is not a reasonable emotion reaction. I understand why you feel that way, but that's not what you thought it was, right? And you just gotta, it doesn't matter how much shit they throw in your direction, you have to stay steadfast in your feeling.
No, but like
That's
the
why I
thing
like
is,
dating women that are a little more feminine in that regard. But
like,
anyways, like, because
anyway,
they'll
and
test you.
here's the thing because
They're
I
trying,
always
well,
hold on, let me
well, I was
just
gonna say, I'll end on this. They are trying to feel secure at the end of the day. That's it.
yeah, okay,
That's why
so
there's
now,
nothing to get offended about. They're just trying to feel secure in themselves. That's it.
oh, yeah, but that's fine if they're trying to feel secure in themselves, but then when the burden of security, of their insecurity falls too much in your, you know, on your end, uh, like the willingness for you to carry the burden is a second order derivative of their level of femininity because femininity to me equal insecurity, and the higher the feminine, uh, the higher the femininity in a woman, the higher insecurity. That's what I've noticed.
Okay. I also think well, this doesn't apply to a lot of men because they're just simply not aware how, is I do think you can make them more secure. So
Yeah, but
like I said,
security is only internal. You don't need any other
well,
than.
it is, but you can give them the tools to be able to do it themselves.
Oh, okay. What you see? What you mean?
This is what I do. This is what I mean, this is fundamentally what I do with every client I have is I help empower them to be able to give themselves what they need. There's many times where I literally just tell them, you now love yourself. You're capable of loving yourself. You realize you don't need anything but yourself to be valuable at the end of the day. And then I'm programming it into their subconscious. So now they actually believe it, right? It's the same thing with women. You can empower women to feel that security and to validate themselves, so now all of a sudden, that borderline personality tendency or frequency, it now slows down. She's not as insecure. So, and that's where I think like in a relationship, when done right, You balance each other out. You teach her how to be more secure. She teaches you how to be more emotionally sensitive to like your surroundings, right? You're more,
It's
yeah.
interesting you mentioned about self-love, right?
Oh, it's huge. It's everything.
Sorry, what?
I said it's everything. That's what this is
But
all about. It's self love.
but you know, and it's interesting because in the masculinity course I create is about like 400 400 500 pages, right? I mean, of
Damn.
PDF, it's not like full on, but like,
Okay.
you know, technically it's like if you're looking at Microsoft Word format, it's about 300 pages, right? And the first chapter was actually on self-love. And obviously, I'm not a hypnosis person, right? But I know how to basically make those exercises in order to build that self-love. So it's interesting that you, as a hypnosis, because me as someone that is more of a, I would say, I mean, an empirical intellectual, let's call it like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
So like I said, hypnosis is the master skill. Everything falls underneath that. So that is still hypnosis, what you're doing there.
yeah,
It's
I
just
mean,
more niche
technically,
down.
you're implementing stuff that people should do it on themselves. Technically, that's what you're doing.
Me? Oh, yeah. Well, I'm giving them the tools to be able to empower themselves. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
teaching them how to give them what they need, how to give themselves what they need so they can get what they want out of reality. I
it's a
could do
more
it in a way so they
interactive
have to
way.
come back to me and pay me forever, but I'm not that kind of person. But it's like, I'm going to give you the tools so you can fix your problems on your own moving forward, so where you don't need anybody else or you don't need me. If you want to speed up the process, come back. We can work together, but you don't need me to get to where you want to go or to get to the next level in life. And I give the same example. If you take somebody that goes from making no money to making $1 million, you have an entirely new set of problems you got to deal with. You can deal with that on your own, or you can come back to me and then I can help you, right? Everybody gets to different levels and stages in their life and you get different problems. So
Exactly.
I try to just empower them as much as possible to be able to handle that indefinitely into the future.
And
But I
also,
can't fucking play out every fucking skill everything you're gonna have to learn for the rest of your life. That's just not possible. I wish it was, but everything does come down to self love, though.
yeah,
Everything.
it's a cornerstone. That is a cornerstone. It's like,
Well, you're not gonna put up with shitty behavior if you don't love yourself. You're not gonna overextend yourself for somebody if you don't love yourself, right? You're not gonna fucking put yourself in a situation where you feel unhappy if you don't love yourself,
and
because you
all
can't love anybody if you don't love yourself at the same time.
that's it. But the problem is, you see nowadays, it's like you see all the TikToks, all the bullshit about self-love, 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 when it's actually,
God, it's just
it's like
narcissism.
it's egotistical narcissism. Like this is it, and
Yeah.
it's like it
It,
requires a level of perspective and of just basically how do you call it, getting rid of the ego. It really takes like,
yes, getting rid of the attachment.
yeah, you know, for example, like
The need to be something or to be someone. If you get rid of that, then pretty much all your problems disappear. Because you also get rid of your need to attach to the outcome. I don't need the outcome in order to feel valuable, in order to feel love. I don't need to be perceived this way in order to know who I am. I can just do and take action, and wherever the cards fall, they fall as long as it aligns with how I feel inside, as long as it aligns with what I want to do, what I feel like I need to do, what I desire to do inside. And this is why everything I teach, even on my Twitter, and I talk about hypnosis a lot, obviously, but at the same time, I post all this shit for free on Twitter. Just fucking read it and fix your own problems, right?
but
At
you know
the
the
end of the
thing,
day, I'm trying to teach people how to like build that relationships with themselves and their body. It's to take guys out of their head, get them into their body so they can feel their feelings. And it's to take girls, well, through the same process or the reverse, right? To back into the head, back into the logic, right? It's having a mind body connection. So you feel something and then you act on it. Because what are feelings at the end of the day? Feelings are strategy. You're trying to get something if you feel angry, you're trying to get injustice or you're trying to get your needs met, or maybe you're trying to get love, right? You're trying to get something. If you feel sad, you're trying to get love, you're trying to get attention, you're trying to get whatever it is, right? It's just a strategy. So where does that strategy come from? It comes from the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is responsible for all your processing, essentially 99%, right? You're taking in 50 million pieces of information every fucking second. You can't consciously process it all. So where does it go? It goes into the form of feelings. So your feelings are the supercomputer. So if you attach to your feelings and you follow your feelings, then you get what you want out of life and you don't have to think about it. You just feel it. The highest performers in the world, they don't think consciously about stuff. They just feel and then they do and then they act and then they do, right? They're in
And
a flow state.
look, I'll use an example, right? No, not girls or whatsoever. Like, you look at top traders, right?
Yeah.
They
Like stock or crypto?
they just look at a chart. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Could be stocks, trades, it could be currencies, could be bonds, could be whatever, right? And what happens is that, or it's like sometimes, for example, when I was playing poker, like I've been focused on so many times, like I've been exposed so many times to a similar type of situation. I wouldn't be able to tell you whether the guy is real, is bluffing, whether I'm ahead, whether he's ahead, but I just get inner feel based on the
Yep.
situation, based on the psychology, based on the
Yep.
meta game, etc.,
Yep.
etc. And I wouldn't be able really to pinpoint what was the thing that made me
You
lean
couldn't
more.
verbalize it.
Sorry, what?
I said you couldn't verbalize it, but you could feel it.
But it is that realm of experience that got me there, right? And it's kind of like what you're saying about those people, like where they're like they look at, or like the top traders, they look at a chart, right, and they be like, I'm not buying that. Or like, I'm not buying it, or I'm not buying it yet. Wait for it to go there. If it doesn't go there, no, but like almost like you're gonna go there and then you buy it. Like this type of stuff. And it's like it's not based upon you know proper technical analysis. It's just based on overexposure to a similar situation. And in a way, and that ties back to you, right? Why you're more likely more suited for what you're doing is because you've had to go through hell, and through hell when younger, and having to build. So it's like it beats any type of level of let's say academic degree or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing like lived experience. There's really
Yeah.
not.
Well, it's also the right. Okay. So it's lived experience plus the right programming.
And your
Before I
ability
got
to see through it.
hypnotized,
Yeah.
what was that?
And your ability to see through it.
Yes. Well, so before I got hypnotized, I did not have the right programming to interpret my emotions and feel them. I had faulty programming. I did not think I deserved a lot of money. I did not think I deserved love. I did not think that I deserved to like have good things happen to me in the world. I fundamentally did not think I deserved to live at the same time, right? So I would go through life feeling that. So it didn't matter how much experience or information I took, I would not fucking get what I wanted. I wouldn't move forward. But then when I got hypnotized, I changed the subconscious programming. I changed my operating system. Now, all of a sudden, all that experience came into play. Now I can use it. So that's why identifying your subconscious beliefs are fucking everything. Identifying them and then changing them. Because once you change them, you can rapidly change your life overnight. Everything changes, right? Like just everything fucking changes. So, yes, my job on Twitter, and this is really my goal, is to wake people up in reality. It's I want you to get rid of your limiting beliefs and to get connected to your feelings and emotions. Because your feelings and emotions, those are what gets you what you want out of life. If you have the right programming, you just do the right thing in every situation and you don't need to think about it. You just have full conviction and full confidence with everything you do because you're relying on your super fucking computer. When you start detaching from your emotions, you start detaching from your feelings, that's where you get real that's when you get screwed over in life, right? Because you don't listen to your gut. When I got cheated on in my last relationship, it was so much cheating, so fucked up, right? A terrible fucking relationship, right? A lot of my shit I speak from experience. I fucked up so much I know what to fucking not do, right? And like I didn't think I deserved love and so on and so forth. So like of course I got that, right? So I knew every single time I had a gut feeling every single time she cheated. So I cut off my relationship with my gut because I decided to stay in the relationship and ignore that and lie to myself. Right. And
Oh,
that's a common story too, unfortunately.
but let me
But
ask you
it's
this.
like, what?
Sorry. What is the difference between
I was
gut
going to
and
say,
go on? Sorry,
oh,
sorry,
what's
but
the difference between gut? No, 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 go on. That'll feed into it.
because you see that thing. It's like a lot of time people will tell you that your gut is your insecurity, but what if it's not?
It's not. Well, it could be,
How
but
can you
it
differentiate? How can you
also isn't.
differentiate? Yeah, that's the question. How can you differentiate?
Between insecurity and gut, your limiting beliefs. Like, what do
Between
you believe
insecurity
inside?
and gut. Between insecurity and gut.
Yeah. 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 Well, if you don't think you deserve respect or love, if you get something in your life that gives you respect or love, you'll feel bad about it. It'll feel like it doesn't belong.
Mhm,
If you believe you deserve respect and love, then you will feel good when you get respect and love, right?
mhm,
So your feelings are the result of what you think you deserve. So everything you get out of life, you think you deserve, first of all. So it's like insecurities, like identify. So it's like your gut and your insecurity, they're not two separate things. They're one and the same, right? If you feel insecure, it's because you don't think you deserve whatever's right in front of you, right? Or you don't feel like you don't feel good. I mean, give me I mean, real
because the
it's
thing is
very
what
fucking nuanced, right?
no, because I was thinking more about this thing, right? It's like, say,
It's
you
based on
know,
a fear. But yeah.
because, like, say, for example, like, you're talking about
Wait, let me tie into it. So insecurity, right? It's based on fear. So if it's based on fear, fear of what? So if you are like we talked about this earlier, if you care about a woman's body count, it's because you do not think you can give her more than whatever she's gotten in the past, right? So you feel like you will never be enough for her. That's based on a fear, and you feel that way. Your
okay,
feelings are valid because you create that reality. Because you don't feel like you're able to give her what she needs or what she wants, or you're not able to give her an experience that surpasses her past experiences, then you will feel insecure about that. And I mean, it doesn't mean it's true. It just means, I mean, it doesn't mean it's a fact, but it is true in that moment because you feel that way. You're going to act in a way that does not give her that level of experience, right? You're going to create that reality. You're going to make it a reality. It doesn't mean it has to be that way. It just means it is that way because you feel that way.
okay. No, because no, because I was thinking more about, like, your ex relationship, right? Where what happened is that you're thinking every time, like, she's cheating on you, someone could easily say it's insecurity, but you said that it was your gut. How can you differentiate the both? Because you saw she was going to cheat
Because
on
because I could
her, for example.
because I could just tell. I just knew. My intuition was just like, yeah, she's cheating on you. That's not insecurity. You just fucking know sometimes. Like you don't need a reason for it. You just know. And if
No,
you
but
detach from that feeling, you start destroying your
but you,
relationship with
you can
yourself.
also find yourself in situation where she doesn't cheat on you, but it's like you're fearing that, and then she eventually cheats on you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
like
yeah, and
it's like the girl. No, because I'm saying this because I'm thinking about, like, a girl that will think. I mean, I know a friend, right? A close friend of mine. It's like he's the most uh, loyal, stable, like, steadfast guy you can find. You know, like, literally, this is the last person you think he'd cheat on.
yeah,
And his girlfriend is jealous as fuck. His girlfriend is jealous as fuck. I mean, like,
she
you know,
wants him to cheat.
you
I
know,
hate to say it. She wants him to fucking cheat. Because otherwise, why would you be acting in a way that makes him likely to cheat? When you are worried about somebody cheating, you start acting jealous or possessive, and that actually is pushing them to cheat.
but the
That's
question I
just
have
the
is,
reality.
our subconscious that wants him to cheat?
No, not it may not be exactly one on one, like I want you to cheat. It could just be I don't feel like I deserve this relationship. So now you're trying to create an out. Because you don't feel like you deserve it, you're gonna act in ways that pushes them away to to split up. And in your mind, the only way that you could actually leave somebody is if they cheated. So you're pushing her to cheat because you feel like you don't deserve her.
Yeah. But you see, so it's so interesting because this is actually getting a
Complicated. Yeah.
very, very, very interesting point because, and you tend to find that with girls that have been with a lot of time guys that were, like, bad guys or toxic, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
um,
Because, by the way, the reason why they got with them in the first place is because they have low self-esteem. No girl with high self-esteem is going to get with a toxic guy
yeah, but to be honest, I'll tell
because
you
she
something.
has a good relationship template.
To me, women all have a low self-esteem. The question is to how much. So,
Wait,
like,
say that again.
all women have low self-esteem. The question is how much. Like, to me, it's like
I don't
more
agree with that. I
femininity.
just think the vast majority do though.
No, the thing is, it's like
Low self-esteem does not equal insecurity. All women are insecure to an extent, but not all women have low self-esteem.
no, but like a lot of time
And
and a lot
also
of
self-esteem is like a spectrum at the same time. Like you could be high self-esteem in some areas and low self-esteem in others,
yeah, I mean, it's not like
which
one.
overall equals low self-esteem. But anyways,
No, because it's like the thing is a lot of time, like a lot of women, they'll use their self-esteem or self-respect or whatever as a compensation mechanism, like literally, like almost like as a
oh, well, they just call it that. They don't actually know what it means.
no, yeah, whatever. But
Yeah,
what
that's just the symbolic structure they're using because they're told that, self-respect and self-esteem looks like this. It doesn't mean it actually does. It just means that's what they think it looks like. So
yeah,
therefore they used it
performative.
as a justification. Yeah.
So, like to me, it's like, and the thing is, the more high self-esteem a woman is, generally, the more masculine she becomes. Like to me, it's kind of like
I
I've
don't
seen.
agree with that.
To me, it's like
And here's
because it's like
why I don't agree with
femininity is
actually, yeah,
insecurity.
go on. I wanna
No, femininity is insecurity, and it's like insecurity is coming from low self-esteem. It's
no, I
like
don't agree with that. I think it's not ma I think it is masculine in the sense that if you have high self-esteem, you're not gonna put up with bullshit. That's just a fact. You're not gonna put up with games and fucking your time being wasted and your feelings getting yanked around. You're just not gonna put up with that. And for guys, since most girls are not high self-esteem, if you meet somebody that is, they're not gonna put up with your bullshit, so they're gonna cut you off or they're gonna be like, "No, cut that crap out. That's not with me." And that's gonna
yeah,
come across as
and I've
masculine.
met some of them, and it's like
Yeah,
I always ask that question to them just out of curiosity. Like, do you feel closer to your dad or to your mom? And they
yeah.
say,
Well, you can also tell by how long or short their hair is.
well, with extensions these days, you don't know.
Well, that's a whole other thing which ties into the mom, but
No,
yeah,
I'm
like,
just
I
bullying.
mean, but yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
having a
You
laugh
can
here.
also tell by their purse, but that's a whole separate thing. But
But
anyway, so
whoa,
what is their or I was
gone,
gonna
gone,
say,
gone.
what is their answer when you
And
ask
it's
them
like,
that question?
and it's like the last one I did, I asked that question. It's like, "Ah, I've got a bit of both, but no, I'm definitely closer to my dad." And I was like,
Yeah. Oh, no, I was talking about the esteem question.
sorry, repeat that again. So the question
Well, so you said you asked the question to these girls,
it was high
if they think
self-esteem.
high self-esteem is masculine. Yeah.
No, I asked that question, right? I asked that question, and almost all the fucking time, closer to the dad. And
Okay.
and also what I do
High
because
self-esteem.
high self-esteem, and also what I do, and
Yeah,
what's it's
that makes
interesting,
sense.
yeah, and what
It
I
gives
do
them
is also,
stability.
I I I mean, we have to work with what we have. I send them the MBTI test, and almost always, she ends up being a T rather than an F. So
What's
thinking,
the thinker versus feeler? Okay.
yeah, I've noticed,
Well,
yeah, but I've noticed when like out of the four letters, which one is going to be the biggest definer upon whether a woman is feminine or masculine? Is it T
yeah,
or F?
is
That
the
is
T.
like, yeah.
Well, I mean, what is feminine and like, do you view the fact that they're masculine in a bad light, like they're not
No, no, no,
supposed to be, or
not necessarily, not necessarily.
because
Be-
I mean, I think boundaries are inherently masculine. Like if you say I'm not
yeah,
going to put up with that, that's more masculine. But I also think that's what self is like good. You should
but
do
the thing
that.
is,
You shouldn't put up with shitty behavior. You shouldn't put up with subpar fucking commitment if you know what you're offering in fucking return is amazing, right?
but then the thing is, you're not dealing with a woman, you're dealing with a partner, and
But
those are
you
two different
are
things.
because she's able to go from that masculine state to also that feminine state.
Look, if the thing is, if she can become masculine, she's not feminine whatsoever. Like if you've been with really feminine
No, that
women,
just means she's more integrated.
no, 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 no. It's like
It means
if
she has
you're
more
able,
range as a woman.
well, no,
Just like as a man, if you're able to step into your feminine, you have more emotional range, which
but
feeds
yeah,
into the
it's
masculine because you're able to take women on a more
but that
intense journey because you can
integration,
navigate these emotions better.
that integration, and that control of the dynamic is masculine in and of itself.
What do you mean?
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like if you can go from basically, if I can switch a little bit more and take a feminine side, or if I can go and be more based on masculine, that control means that basically I'm in a state of control. The woman needs to feel contained. If she is already being able to self-contain, that means that she has that level of agency, that sovereignty, that independence that is inherently masculine.
But what's
Is it?
wrong with that?
I mean, like to me,
What about that
like
makes her
me,
not be able to
I'm
be more
feeling like I'm
feminine?
a guy if she has that level
Well,
of
that's
independence.
because you're not bringing out that feminine side in her.
No, 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 no. It's not that. It's not so much
Well,
about that.
because if you say she's either your definition of self-esteem or their perception of it is not correct, or you're not bringing that side out of them. Because
No,
every
I'm a
woman,
feminine person. But if I see a woman that can be masculine at the same time as feminine, I cannot see as feminine
what do you mean you can't see them as feminine? Meaning in your own head
because
you can't?
no, because thing is, it's like I'll give you an imagery. I'll
Well,
give you
okay. So this is where it gets complicated, right? Because if you do not see them as feminine, then you will not act in a way that gets their feminine side out.
no, no, because I'll
Because you're
use a,
not act you're
oh, no,
seeing
hold
that
on.
masculine energy and you're putting up a wall on your own.
No, no, no. It's not even about that because to me,
That's what I've
it's,
done.
it's not. It's not. It's not that they're not feminine. It's not that they cannot be feminine. But the fact of the matter is, if she can be masculine, it takes away all femininity. Like
No,
in
it
my
doesn't.
no, no, no. But like,
It
look, I'll
doesn't.
give
It
you
means
example. I'll
she
give you
has more
no, no,
range.
no, 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 no. Let me give you an example. Right? It's like little. I mean, two girls, right? Different two girls, right? And it's so interesting because they have actually the same profession. One,
Okay.
one is a lawyer, Eastern European whatsoever.
Okay.
Little 5'2", little small, petite, whatever, right?
Love them. Go on.
You love them. You love them petite girls.
Love the petite ones. Yep.
There
Yep.
we go.
Love it.
At least we
They're the
align on
fucking
that,
best.
right?
Yeah. All right.
And another one,
Makes me feel masculine, but not, go on.
no, and another one, 5'5", pretty as well, in good shape and everything. A
Uh-huh.
lawyer, right?
Okay.
I think the first one must be 32, and the other one must be 29, right now. Anyway,
Okay.
and it's like one of them, and lawyers tend to be very masculine, like in general, just from
Yeah, they're in a
overall.
very masculine field. They got to pick up certain
Yeah,
traits.
and it's not something like that. And the second one is more integrated. The second one is very intelligent as well.
Okay.
Um, but and the first one is and that first one is very sweet. Is very this. I've never felt any level of masculinity with her whatsoever, and I was not even like in a defensive mode because she was a lawyer whatsoever. I was like, just she was like always not, and it's like, and and the second one, I have a lot of respect for her as well. Like,
Okay.
um, and she has the ability to go from masculine, feminine, feminine, masculine. I've seen her with both, right? And on an attractive level, I'm like, they're about the same.
Okay.
But I'm more inherently drawn to the other person who has always shown me my femininity, and because it's almost like she cannot be masculine. She literally can't. And I am the same person.
You
You
can't be
know?
feminine?
So it's like, it's not on me. It's really not on me. It's like the feminine masculine stuff is not my
I
brain.
disagree.
I'm not at all.
Well, no, no, no. You're saying it's not on you, and I'm not saying it has to be on you. I'm just saying it can be on you, and you can get more feminine out of it.
Yeah, but if I'll get more feminine, it's because she carry a burden of masculinity that I don't have. You can choose to deal with, or you don't.
Well, she doesn't want to surrender to you fully. That's all
No,
that's
but the thing
telling
is,
you.
it's
She
like,
just doesn't feel safe enough to surrender. That doesn't mean
no,
you're inadequate as a man. It's just saying she doesn't feel safe enough to surrender
no,
her
but the thing is, it's
femininity
like,
fully to you.
no, because at the end of the
She
day,
can let it go. She's a woman. Of course she
the,
can. She can melt into that little childlike like
the
energy
thing
where
is,
she
she
just lets
cared
down
about.
all her guards
The
and
thing
she's
is,
like a playful little fairy.
yeah, and guess what? Her environment will change it. Like one day she'll be like that, the other day because something, she's more. Shit happens like in your mood, your shit happening in your daily life. The point
So
I'm
snap
saying,
her out of it
no, but the point
if
I'm
that's what you
saying,
want.
no, 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 but like I don't want anything from either one of them. It's not so much that I'm looking more from
Okay.
an observer
Okay.
perspective. That's the
Well, I'm
thing.
just saying if you wanted it, then
Yeah,
just you could bring it out. Like,
no, but like again, then it's like the point I'm saying is like the idea that it has to be on the man to actually bring out femininity is actually completely. the avoiding the accountability from the woman's perspective to actually appreciate herself to be that way or not. But going back onto the masculine feminine debate, right?
Well, I
I'm not
disagree. I think it is on the man to be able to create an environment where she feels
not
safe
at
to let her
all,
femininity come
not
out.
at all.
It
It's
doesn't
like,
mean it has to take a lot of work. It's just be integrated enough with yourself, be embodied enough that she feels compelled to drop the masculine side with you and to just be feminine. It's
I mean,
nothing to do with her at the same time.
the thing is,
It's
it's
that
like if
that
I had
you're
to
that guy and she naturally responds to that guy.
ask yourself this: if with one girl, for some level of attractiveness, whatever, right? I don't have to do anything for it to be feminine, and the other one I have to do something. Well, the problem's not on me, so it's on her. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I don't view that as a problem. I view that as like a challenge. I'm like, "Oh, that's sick. Let me see if I can make myself into a man that gets her to be more feminine." And it's not saying I don't deserve feminine. I just view it as like a fun challenge. I'm like, "Oh,
No,
that's a that it's like I'm peeking into like a reflection of myself that could be better."
but like
Right?
to me, I don't
As
see
long
like
as it gives me and aligns with my vision, as long as it gives me what I want and aligns with my vision, I don't see a problem with changing myself to have her express more femininity because all that means is that there's something inside me. This is how I interpret it. There's something inside me that is not congruent or that isn't fully integrated or embodied to the point to where she just feels like dropping her guards right away with me and just trusting me and falling into my frame. There's
but
still something she's protecting herself from inside me that I don't see. So I have the opportunity now to figure out what that is inside of me so I can transcend and get to the next level of my own consciousness. I constantly learn from all the women around me. That's how I've been able to get so far in life is by taking these as opportunities to grow.
you see, here's a massive risk here, and I think that's where our divide will be. Is that from the moment that
Okay.
you actually think that woman define your level of masculinity is a moment that you actually fall within their frame in the meta. And what do I mean by
I
that?
agree, but I'm not defining my masculinity by her.
No, but the fact that you said that, you said it's a problem, it's a challenge whatsoever, right? It means that basically there's something for you to address in order for you to embody something a bit more when it's actually associating and expecting women to have a normative um, level of insight as to your level of masculinity. Whereas
No, it
actually,
means
it
I
is
can
very much
step into that frame. I can step into that belief if my gut is telling me that's what I should do to get to the next level. I'm choosing to play this game. I'm choosing to find out what it is. I'm not forcing myself and I'm not
no,
defining my masculinity based on her.
no,
I'm
because
just choosing to say, hey, if I play this game, if I change how I act, what happens? Do I become more embodied, more integrated as a man? Or do I become less embodied? Less, it's like a fun, harmless game at the same
no, no, but
time.
like that's
Because
fine on
my
an individual
value
level.
isn't determined by her
No,
response.
no, 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 but that's
I
fine on
just
an
think it's an
individual level.
opportunity.
That's fine on an individual level. But in an overall, like to get to XYZ outcome as a problem as a strong, fine, whatever. Like you use your discrimination, you use, like the same way
Well,
as
my outcome is just transcendence. I don't know where that'll end up. Right. And the more I
go figure.
transcend, the more I become connected to my vision. Right. The more my vision becomes a reality. Like, I mean,
Like,
dude, imagine if we kind of addressed this on the discussion we had the other day about tests, right? Like, I don't view tests as a bad thing. I view that as that means there's something inside me that is not inspiring them to just automatically follow me. And if
but
I did not have that
you make it too
take
much. You make it
throughout my life, I would not have grown.
no, no, but like thing is, one thing about tests, like I'll use an example, right? I'm not saying that I never address shit tests. That would be a lie. I do sometimes address shit tests. I do sometimes not. Or sometimes I will let the girl try who's desperate to control the conversation, but I'll guide it a way that I want it to go. Right. The point I'm saying is it's like not it's about using that discrimination power and in order to for whatever purpose or reason there is, right? But the difference is I don't let like I will not make the test be a definer upon my value, my masculinity whatsoever, in the sense that
And I agree.
no, no, but that's it. Therefore, to me, the fact that there is growth inside tests or there is growth in like this now, in the sense of it helps you become more versatile, 100% adaptable, like in the sense of you know how to navigate shit better. But in terms of sense of self worth, not at all. because to me, test is more a problem on her end, that basically she doesn't have actually a good assessment of the person, that she has to manufacture it not through subtle observation, but through overt testing. That's on her. That's not on me. Because at the end of the day,
But
I'm,
see,
yeah, go on.
here is where you are creating your own prison without realizing it.
All right, go on.
You do not see there's a third option. You view it as, if you do that, right, you are defining your masculinity by their response. That's your current perception. Okay.
Hmm.
There's another option where you can do it and not define your masculinity by it, because you're choosing to believe you can create a reality where you don't define your masculinity by their response and you do grow. And it's not cope, because you're choosing to act in a way that makes it a reality.
No, no,
You're choosing to select a different frame where you go from a win lose game to a win win game.
like to me, I
But if
can't.
you only see it in a
Look,
win lose game, then that's all you
like
get.
for me, first of all, like I'm always looking for win-wins. Like I'm always looking for win-wins because I like people to win.
But why can't you find it in this situation then?
Because women don't work by win-win. It's as simple as that. They win by win-lose. Like that.
But at the same time, this isn't something they're necessarily consciously aware of.
No, no, it's a good, but they're not consciously aware of. But if there's as has a default to mechanism.
So how can you say I don't think the default mechanism in women is win lose. I think it can be. I think it absolutely can be if you operate under that assumption. But I think you, as the man, are supposed to lead and ultimately take the interaction wherever you want it to go. And if you want it to go to a win win, make it a win win. And if they don't go along, well, guess what, baby? You're gone. I only play win win games. If you don't want to play that, you're not in my life.
But the thing
So
is,
it means
no, but like,
99% of women are not a fit for me.
no, but hold on, and here it is. When you say if you're not going playing by win-win, if you're not playing by win-win, then you're not into my life. So if they come back into your life, it's a lose for her and it's a win for you. But they still operate by win-lose.
No, I don't. No, because I don't want to play a game where I have to win lose. I'll just find a different woman that is willing to play
No,
win
but
win.
if
Right
to
now,
you
I
it will
have
be
one.
win-win. To you it will be win-win. But
Yes,
to her
it's
it will be
win-win.
win-lose.
And for her, it's win-win. Well, because she's falling into my frame. So it
Yeah,
becomes
but
a
like,
win
no,
for her as well, too, because I'm making it a win for her. I'm
because you
explaining
view
it to
it as
her
a
as a
win
win.
for her. Because you view it as a win for her. For her should be like, I have to lose my ego and go back to him in order to basically get with him.
But she doesn't view it that way.
Well, good luck with that.
No, this is what I'm doing right now. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm speaking from experience. I'm dating a girl where everything is a win-win.
No, as long as she considers that, because at the end of the day, it's like,
Well, no, it's not even as long as she considers that. As long as it is that, as long as I feel that it's a win, then I'll continue to play this game. If I feel that it becomes a lose, I'm not going to lose. I don't compromise. I find third
you
options
can
where both
always,
of us
the
can
one
win.
thing is, you can always win yourself. I'm not saying not the problem. It's not so much
Yeah,
that.
and I agree. I always win myself. There's never an option where I lose.
That's what I'm saying.
I
But
always find the win. The question is it going to be a win-win or a win-lose? And ultimately, that depends on if they are willing to play the win-win game. If they aren't, then I play the win-lose game with them and they lose and I win. Doesn't, and when I say I lose, it doesn't mean, oh my God, my life's over. No, it just means you lose.
and going,
Whatever we were playing, you lose.
I mean, just going back onto the third option that you said, this idea of growth to me, I don't like the word. Like the reason why I don't like the word, it's more like it's kind of like normative, and I, in the sense of,
Expansion,
yeah,
ascendance, whatever
yeah,
you want to call it,
like
getting to the next level.
just yeah, it's more about, like, no, as you say, like, expanding the capacity, becoming more versatile, evolving, etc. Right?
Yeah, more range, more dynamic, whatever you want to
Yeah, I
call it.
feel like growth is
More
kind of like,
developed, more evolved.
like if you tell me growth of money, yeah, growth of dick, yeah, growth of anything,
You
but
could
like,
grow your dick, by the way. My friend developed a protocol. You could grow your dick easily like an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches on it. I grew mine like a fucking half inch on the protocol. I was like, God damn, that shit works. Anyway, for all those listening, follow Bowtied Biohacker on Twitter. Go to his Substack. He has a dick growth protocol. That shit works.
But
Anyways,
by the way,
a
guys,
few guys are just like, yeah, well, yeah, it doesn't matter how big it is, it matters how you use it, but it doesn't hurt if it's a little bigger too. Unless
yeah,
it's too big, then it hurts them, but that's a different
yeah, I was
story.
gonna
Follow
say,
him for all your biohacking needs. Anyways, back to the topic.
oh my god, you're such a great marketer,
Uh,
by the way. Um,
yeah, thank you. I talk all day long. I better fucking be. It's my job to fucking mesmerize people with my speech. I better fucking hope I can talk. Which, by the way, I never used to be able to have a conversation with the Starbucks barista. I would say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And then it would just cut off. And I couldn't even say it with that level of like chill energy. It was like, "Hi, how are you?" And then just, "Oh, I'm doing good." And then I'd be like, I'd freeze. Like I had no social skills. So the fact I was able to go there is far fucking amazing. But anyways,
but yeah.
so
Yeah, but by the way, just wanted to say, just on the dick size, if you want, it's better for you to grow girthier rather than longer in general, right? I mean, obviously, holding
yeah,
everything
it is. But
equal.
you can also grow it longer, by the way, if you get down to a low body fat, because there's a fat pad cushion around your cock, and you can like get up to like I think like half inch or maybe like 3/4 of an inch by losing the fat pad. It actually exposes it more,
Ah, so
and
what
you
you're
look
saying,
better when
what
you're
you were
low body
saying,
fat, anyways.
so what you're saying is like literally. So, oh, actually, that explains those. Seriously, this part is going completely haywire here. But
That's fine. It's going wherever it needs to. This is what the people want. This is what the universe wants. Let's talk about dick now. It's not gay at
yeah,
all.
but like because
Anyways.
like there's this like meme of the guy that is very like skinny guy and that's got like an oversized dick, and it's like
Oh,
yeah,
that's a real thing. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's like, yeah, well, I think it's optical illusion because, it's like it's so tiny, so everything looks bigger.
Hey, it's all
Well,
in the
maybe it
eye
could
of the
be a thing.
beholder, right? Fuck it.
Sorry, what?
It's both. It's all in the eye. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If it looks bigger, it feels bigger. No,
So
and like I'm
all the
actually
time.
dead serious when I say that because perception is everything. You ever notice when you're talking to somebody and they seem like way taller than they are or way shorter when than they are? I've had that where I'm like talking to this guy. He seems like he's 6 foot tall. Motherfucker's 5'4". It's just because his confidence is 6 feet tall. And I've talking to tall guys where they literally feel like they're fucking 5 foot, like they're like 5'5" and they're like 6'3". It's all about perception. So in her eyes, if your dick looks bigger, it'll feel bigger. Like she'll actually convince herself her reality will be his cock is bigger.
Well,
Right. Like there's so many different crazy things about the human mind is capable of. Insane. You can go under literal surgery where they're cutting you open with hypnosis and feel no pain. They do this in Israel. They have open brain operations and they also like operate on your hand with no anesthetic and there's no pain because they hypnotize you beforehand to feel no pain.
let me
Your
ask you this.
reality is far more pliable and malleable than you have any fucking clue. It's insane.
The question I have is, I mean, I mean, for me, I'm 6'2", right? Never really felt like smaller per se, nor taller. I was just very much
Yeah.
6'2". Very
Okay.
basic, very basic. I mean, how tall are you? Just to illustrate the story you.
I'm 6 foot. Well, I'm 5'11" and fucking 7/8 or 3/4, whatever you call it. I'm
Do you
fucking
put
6 foot if anybody
do you put
asks.
6 foot on dating apps?
Yeah, of course I fucking do. I'm not gonna do 5'11". That's not true. I'm closer to 6 foot than I am 5'11", so I'm fucking 6 foot. Big fucking deal. Anyways.
But you felt
Yeah.
that stuff basically. You felt like sometimes you're bigger or smaller based upon.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And that really had to do with my self-esteem and confidence at the time too. If I ever feel like a guy is taller than he is, it's because I know in my mind, I see him as larger than me. I see him as bigger than me. I see him as more confident, more self-esteem, whatever it is, right? And I haven't had that in years, but when I see them as smaller, then that means it's not necessarily I view them as smaller in my mind. It's that they are putting out an image that they are smaller than they are. They are not owning their size. They're not owning their stature. And it's not that when I talk with people, right, I'm sizing them up like that. Maybe subconsciously. I view most people I talk with, I view them on the same level, unless they're clearly like not as developed as a human being, then I can't help but see you a little lower. It doesn't mean you're not worth as much. You're worth is inherently as much as you are, as you say you're worth as a human being. I value you how I value you. But at the same time, if you see yourself as smaller than me, I'm going to see yourself as smaller than me too. If your self esteem is low, I'm going to see that. Your
Mhm.
reality is going to impact it. When your energy is big and it fills up the fucking room and you're larger than life, people pick up on that.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
You
But
know,
isn't
you
that,
ever notice when some people walk in a room, they like fucking, they change the air instantly? The energy just completely shifts. It's literally just that. And your
maybe.
energy, and this is where ascension or expansion comes into play. the higher you ascend in consciousness, the higher you ascend in self-esteem or whatever, or like the further you grow, the more refined and the larger your energy gets, right? The more power you have to impact and shape your reality.
Well, what I'll say is just have a good night's sleep. That help.
That helps too, yeah. I'm fucking obsessed with growing through women, right? I really do fundamentally believe women are a reflection of like where you're at. And I think they
I really don't.
challenge you. They're almost
That's
like a
very
portal to
interesting.
your potential.
No, you know what? Actually, that's very interesting going there because I completely disagree. I completely disagree, and I'll tell you why. Uh,
Okay.
there was a time that I was the most successful with women has been when I was an utter piece of shit, and a lot, and using my capabilities for for not the best of thing, right? Right now, I'm a much better person. I mean, in terms of just value, ethic, morals, whatever, whatever you want to call it, right? No outcome dependent, whatever. I have boundaries, whatever. But point being is, uh, yeah, I can, action the stuff that I action in the past and be as successful. I chose not to, uh, because it doesn't do anything for me. But I'm feeling way more integrated now than I was back then, and I'm not getting as great results. Not because it's a bad woman or good woman, but the fact that you associate your how do I say, your your sense of self and of higher value with how women respond to you, is basically saying that they hold a degree of truth as to what's good and what's not when they don't, and also is putting a level of intelligence, prescience, and whatever on them when actually most of them, to be honest, are actually retarded. Like
No, I think most people are retarded, but no, I think the feminine holds an immense potential to help you grow. I like these are concepts that like transcend our understanding currently of human beings, and it's been written about for thousands of years. Men have built empires for women. Like it's a real driving force. I acknowledge their power. Like they have real fucking power over me. They have real power over you, and I'm not going to pretend it's not there. It is. I'm just going to find a way to actually work with it and use it. Not just use it, but to like interact with it and to become better myself, right? It's like, and I don't care about how I'm perceived to the majority of women. I know I'm fucking attractive. I've had women throwing themselves at me my entire life without me trying to do shit, right? And yeah, I had a similar experience. I had more women throwing themselves at me when I was younger and undeveloped and didn't know how to talk to them versus what I'm at now. But guess what? Those women were also not high quality too. They may have looked attractive. They may looks wise, they were everything from like a fucking 4 to a fucking 9, right? Like I attracted across the entire spectrum. And when I say throw themselves at me, I mean throw themselves at me, like come on to me outright. Like I had a therapist come on to me, sleep with me when I was a patient, when I was in rehab, right? I had girls try to invite me over to their place when I was living in my car. Like I had all these opportunities my entire life. And like they've gotten, well, I wouldn't say they've gotten smaller. I've increased my value as a man, and therefore my pool of women that I would be willing to date has shrunk. And I don't view that as a bad thing. If I want to dip down in lower levels of consciousness and get my dick sucked, I can do that easily, bro.
but that
Just as
would
easy
cost
as
you
me. You could
energy.
go out. Yeah, you could go out today. You could get your dick sucked within fucking 30 minutes if you find the right girl. I know for a fact. So, like, sex doesn't have any value for me if it's just sex, it's just masturbation. I don't care about that. I'm looking for a transcendent fucking experience. I'm looking for the 10 out of 10 chemistry. I'm looking for something that has deep meaning and value and that fills my fucking soul with energy. And women are the way to do that. So I absolutely think you can
Okay, okay,
grow, and
okay. Now I see
but
what you're
I
saying.
don't think you should grow with most women. And I do not think most women have the capability to help you grow unless that's your level of consciousness. If you notice, the higher you raise your own consciousness, the further you increase your value as a man, right? The
Hmm.
pool of women that you would be willing to date shrinks, but the
Yes,
quality increases. That's a
yes,
good thing. So it
yes.
has nothing. So at the same time, like, don't
What you're
like,
saying about feminine, that I misunderstood you. I misunderstood you because it's like
okay.
literally what you said right now. I don't disagree with anything.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree with anything. It's just the
I mean, this
way
is
it
the
was
thing with
framed.
conversations, right? You never know where the other person's coming from.
Yeah, no, it's like I was like, "Yeah, that's been my experience." I was like, "Yeah." There's like nothing to
Yeah,
add.
no, I'm not, yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. Do not define your fucking value as a man by from a woman, not at all. Fuck
No,
that shit.
because
That's low self-esteem. Don't define it on another person's perception of you as key. It's just feedback. That's all it is. You
yeah,
choose to
feedback.
acknowledge the feedback or not. Most feedback I get is bullshit.
Yeah,
Somebody gets angry at
nice.
me, that's your problem. In fact, with my clients, right? If I fucking defined my value or my reality based on their reaction, I wouldn't get them results
Yeah,
because I would fall into their frame. In fact, what happens when you hypnotize somebody, right? Is if you do not believe, I mean, ultimately, they are either hypnotizing you or you are hypnotizing them.
either you're sold or either you sell or you're sold. It's like,
Yeah,
so,
and that's exactly what it is. So yeah, like you shouldn't be, but yeah, you shouldn't be defining your value on anybody. It's all just feedback. It's all just signals, and most signal is just to be ignored. It's not worth shit. Like I find, dude, it's so fucking liberating not caring about getting laid. Oh
oh,
my
man,
god,
I
it feels
know.
waste so little energy now. Holy shit, I wasted
Oh,
so much
man.
energy when I was younger, bro.
But because we had too
It was
much energy.
insane.
We had too much energy. Now I mean, for me,
Yeah.
I don't have energy, so it's like, it's
No, I
like,
still have energy. I just channel it differently,
no,
right? It's a
I have
more
energy
refined
too.
energy.
Exactly, but it's
Yeah,
like,
it's a more pure energy, I think.
because you've got scarce your energies, therefore it's like, as you said, pure. Because it's
Yeah.
like the cost of the bullshit is too much for you to care to carry.
God, yeah.
But
You think I don't invite most people into my life because they ain't fucking worth it. Your energy needs to be good for it to be in my life, right? Like your energy is fucking amazing. That's why I'm on this call right now. I'm like, yeah, this will be fun. It's actually funny enough. I walked into this call thinking you might be argumentative going in just because we were debating a lot on Twitter. But yeah. Then I'm like, no. We'll have a good experience. But
because you
it's like,
see,
yeah, dude, most people do not belong in your life. Fuck that.
but you see, I'll tell you something. It's like, and that's why, that's why I invite people on the pod that I don't necessarily fully agree on. And sometimes it's just a matter of framing it rather than actually core disagreement, just as we just had now.
Yeah, well, it's also just like you're not actually communicating with somebody until you hop on a phone call with them or you meet them in person because there's too much information being put off by the tonality, your voice, the fluctuations, the fucking energy behind it, the pauses in between your speech. All that gives you so much information to work with. You just don't get via a fucking tweet. It's impossible or a DM,
Yeah, you can't. And it's like, for example,
like yeah.
so when we're disagreeing, I'd send you a DM like, look, just in case that you don't get because you know, you're a yapper, I'm a yapper. We like to debate, we like to think, and it's like a lot of time people when they debate,
Yeah.
they will take things personally. And
They
I was
take
like,
it
no.
personally. Yeah.
And it's like if you have a strong sense of self or strong sense on your reality, or you have a strong sense and you have a strong sense of your reality, it's like you don't take things personally that much, right? I mean, obviously, as long as
No,
they're
I want people to disagree with me because that makes my reality sharper, more refined. Prove me
and,
wrong so I can adopt your belief so I'm more effective.
but that's it. Like there are some people on X, I'm like, and they have got a strong sense of reality, they have a different view thing. And as you said, it helps you understand yourself better because they challenge that core whatever narrative or that core reality that you've got inside of you, and you're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe I need to change that a little bit. No, that actually makes more sense, and you're like,
Yep.
and that's why, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you on podcast, because I was like, you know what, that's going to be interesting. And but also at the same time, it's like you didn't. I don't want to use this term shrink because it's kind of it's the same as growth. I find.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you did like, you know, I think
I
you
didn't
knew
back
that,
down.
yeah, back down, whatever, because you felt comfortable enough in yourself, in that, like my feedback was not really a problem. You're like, you know what, let's basically up on the call.
No.
That's it.
I'm like, thank you for the fucking feedback. It helps me think about my beliefs so I can actually have stronger, better beliefs. The more I'm tested, like I fucking love it. And that's why I love this girl I'm dating right now because she challenges me so many fucking times. And it's like it would be annoying if we didn't end up, fucking every time, right? It's actually like we're flirting in reality, right? Because she wants to fucking disagree with me, not on everything, just for the record,
Mm.
but she likes
Oh,
to give me pushback and shit, and
yeah.
that's just building tension. right? That's just building tension. It's more erotic that way. It's more fun. But it's like because she's not backing down, that's why I love her over every other fucking girl that I'm dealing with, right? Because
But you see,
it's so rare.
no,
And I
because you see,
respect her fucking feedback because she's actually smart. Smartest girl I've ever met by far. Like I love this girl to death. Like it's wild. But yeah,
but it's so interesting because, so remember I was telling you about that girl just earlier, like before the call, right? She was an ENTP, right? As well, like you are, I
yeah,
am. And we do love a debate. Do love, we do like the back
yeah.
and forth. Oh man, oh, we do love that shit, right? To a
It's
fault.
so fun.
Yeah, and it's like, and you were in your story, you were saying that you love that challenge, you love that that. I mean, would you say that she's disagreeable, like in general, or just kind of like just
No, she's actually one of the most feminine girls I've ever come across too. Like for most people, she is so bubbly and cute. Like she believes in fairies. She's like very fucking like hyper feminine, right? But when
Mhm.
it comes to me, like I bring something out of her where it's like I think part of it is every other person in her life, like every other guy, just falls in love with her. Like literally, they just do whatever she says, right? Like she just has them all fucking mesmerized, right? She's even told me she's like, yeah, this guy at work broke up with her girlfriend, lost a bunch of weight, and is like obsessed with me. I'm like, yeah, I could like I see why, right? You got an intoxicating energy, but it's because I didn't just fall for that right away. Like I saw through the games, I saw through like the bullshit that like it makes it fun. I'm like, yeah, challenge me. Go ahead. Try to run little games on me. I see you through it. It's not going to work. I actually find it fun. Like, it's fun, it's like a challenge, right?
I mean, like
Like,
if it's if
I'm
it,
challenged to get to the next level and refine my beliefs better, but also at the same time, and this is the biggest thing I've learned from her, is refine my emotional programs and my response. I was so much less sophisticated than I am now when it came to dealing with my emotions and handling them because I got it brought to my attention by how she would respond to me. I didn't realize I was being so fucking hurtful, and I had friends in the past try to bring this to my attention, but I just steamrolled over them, right? But when it comes to like hurting a sweet feminine girl's feelings, you feel bad, you know? So it's like, let me think about that. Let me reflect about that. Am I being reasonable here or not? And in some cases I am, and then I don't back down. But in other cases, I'm like, no, actually, that was justified. That was actually mean of me. I'm sorry. You know, it's because she has that high self esteem. So this is what I'm talking about. She's hyper feminine, but she also has that self esteem to where she can set a boundary and mean it. I've never
when
met a
you
girl that
say
actually
it's
met what she
interesting.
says. This girl does.
It's interesting because to me, it's like
Fascinating.
a moment that I feel like any level of disagreeability, any level of boundaries, any level of how do I say, disagreeability, boundaries, intellectual challenging. I'm just like, yeah, fuck off. Like I'm just like I'm not
Yeah, no,
like
I like it.
no,
Well, it's because
that's the thing.
it's an opportunity for me to fucking flex my fucking intellectual muscles and my strength too. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong. Watch me. Go ahead, try. Go ahead, push back. I'm gonna put you in your place. Don't you worry.
You see,
You know, like it's fun.
tell me that in 7 years time, 8 years time. You tell me that I'm too fucking.
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm sure it'll change as I get older. Like this is just my current evolution wherever I'm at now.
But I
Right now,
respect
I
that.
enjoy it.
And I
Yeah.
recognize the ENTP in you, and I'm sure that the girl last night was into ENTP. She expected that from you. I was like, oh man, I'm
Yeah,
cool.
this girl that I'm dating is ENTP as well.
She ENTP as well. Oh, for God's sake!
Yeah. I know, fucking
You
ENTPs.
know,
So it turns out when you're smart and you like debating, date a girl that has ENTP. You'll like her more.
I prefer
Wait,
EN.
no, in that case, the girl last night you didn't like. But anyways, fucking who
No, no,
cares?
no, no. I prefer.
It's all spectrum.
Yeah, no, no. But what I've noticed actually, it's interesting if we're going MBTI, right? So what I've noticed is, you like if like the most important letter for me I find is the F, then N, no N, M- E.
Okay.
I prefer extrovert than introvert. Introvert tend to be a bit
Okay.
too boring to me. Uh,
Okay.
P, because P instead of J, because if it's like they're too narrow minded with J. It's like they're too
Okay.
structure driven. Uh,
What's J?
J,
Justice?
judging, but it's
Judging.
more about
Okay. That's
structure.
similar. But okay.
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
about structure.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Whereas the P is more like discovering ideas and whatnot, right? And N or S is
Okay.
like S is kind of like the guy or the woman says is like, "What's your source?" You know, it's like like the
Yeah.
guy.
How do you feel about astrology? I'm actually starting to believe in it a lot. It's
No,
fascinating shit, dude.
I'm not.
Well, actually, let me preface this first.
Okay,
So
okay,
the
okay.
reason why I take astrology seriously now is because it's this system that has been developed over thousands of years.
Hmm.
Humans don't tend to just believe in bullshit for thousands of years in that regard. Like it tends to actually have a basis in reality. And if you look at astrology, if you look at ENTP, if you look at these different religions and different belief systems, they all converge on similar areas for stuff that is true. So it doesn't matter if it's coming from astrology or the Bible or Myers and Briggs, personality test. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. If it's true, it'll converge at the ultimate endpoint, right? Because it's true. It resonates across however wherever it comes from, it all ends
Resistance
up at the same
time.
place. So with astrology, it's very interesting because this girl, she's really into it, right? She's sending me bits and pieces about like her astrology sign, and she like gets really into it. Cause like I said, she's like a genius, right? She's like, she applies that intellect to astrology and some other books. She reads fucking books all day long from, you know, the best authors in the world, like incredibly smart. So she's reading this astrology, she's sending it to me, and it's lining up with our dynamic in the relationship and describes how I've acted in previous relationships in terms of like how I interact with girls and how I interact with the world. And I'm like, fuck, there's some synchronicity there. Like there's some truth there because otherwise it would just be complete bullshit, but it's lining up with how I interact. So like there's something there, right? So it's like, what's your take on astrology in that regard? Do you just dismiss it completely, or have you ever actually looked at it seriously enough to dismiss it? Or
No, for me, I mean, first I had to learn astrology just to basically find a different type of bridge for conversation. Very sorry, very.
yeah, I mean, hey, fair enough, right? Fair enough. It
Well,
works. Yeah.
as a first, right? And I've noticed some patterns. I've noticed that I tend to get on very well with people that are Pisces
Okay.
or Aries, for example. That's some stuff. Like, but I've never really been with people like with girls. It's mostly been like girls that are around the end of the year, like the Sagittarius, Capricorns, Scorpios.
Okay.
If I look at all the girls that really mattered in my life, it's kind of like very much like towards that cluster of months. Um,
Interesting.
or
There's a pattern there.
sorry, no, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
There's a pattern there that you could use to filter out future girls. Like
no,
it's
but
just
when you,
it's just a heretic system, whatever you call it. It's just a way to
a heuristic.
perceive reality and take some
uh,
heuristic. Yeah, it's a way to just like shortcut wasted time.
but
Like
that
I
maybe
see why girls believe in it because it actually there's some truth to it. But
it's
yeah,
more like again, it's about making sure that you not correlate, causate, all the time. Because originally, when I
yeah, yeah. Well, also here's another thing. You will, if you believe it, you'll create it. So if you believe you are, we'll say, a fucking Sagittarius, you'll act in a way that makes that a reality because you believe it. So whatever traits line
yeah,
up, you'll
it's
believe
more
it.
like
It's
a
just like
reflection.
people that go to therapy and get diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder or borderline, they will literally hypnotize themselves, put them into a trance where they start actually becoming that and
Well,
actually acting in that way. So
I,
all you need to do is break that trance for them to break out of those patterns. But yeah, you create your reality. So if you believe
well,
it, you create it. But anyways, go on.
no, because it's like the identity loop, like the identity, then basically
Exactly.
reflexive loop. And it's what's
Exactly.
interesting as well is because I look at Myers Briggs, right? I was like, yeah, whatever, bullshit. And then more and more people started talking to me about it. It was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start like I'm associate well, ask people to take the test and
Okay.
and then look at the patterns and everything, right? But before I
Okay.
was, and then I came to a state I was like, holy shit, that actually I tend to attract this type of personality type. Get on
Yeah.
very much this type of personality type. But for some reason, I looked at the population distribution. How come I never around those personality types, right? And I start to understand about the logic behind ding, 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 ding. And now, before, like whenever I match with a girl and you say on WhatsApp, whatever, and I've done that with many, or even sometimes with guys, right? You know, uh,
Okay.
I can almost predict like maybe I may be wrong on one or two on one letter, like maybe it's like a little bit more introverted than he shows, or maybe the
Okay.
extroverted than he shows. But generally, I'm very good at already establishing what type of personality they are, and I'm like, okay, now it makes total sense. And I've learned to really actually believe in that. Obviously, it's heuristic. It's not really like deep and all that. It's kind of just like
It's
what
just a
what
framework. It doesn't line up 100% with reality, but as long as you get close enough, you can figure out the rest and like, yeah.
that's it. It's kind of like if it does 80% of the work, that's good. And I really enjoy the process because it helped me understand. It's like if I find like a strong boss babe, I can tell you she's an ENTJ most of the time, or maybe an ESTJ, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm
Yeah.
like, and then there's, oh my god, how do you know that about me? Actually, I've got a funny story. I have a funny story. I got a funny
Okay.
story. Right? Um, it's so my friend went to the standing salon, right? He started chatting
Uh-huh.
with a with a with a girl that was a receptionist, quite hot and kind of like the party girl type of shit, you know. And I got him into
Okay.
MBTI and shit.
Okay.
And he started looking into it and everything. And he said, "Oh, you should definitely do that test. I've got a feeling you're an ENFP, right?" It's like, you know, and he goes on the standing salon, right? And
Okay.
it's like, "Oh my god!" He hears, you know, from his room or whatever, his stuff. And, you know, and he goes back and she goes and she says to him, like, "How did you know that about me?" That I was, "What do you mean, what?" I said, "That I'm an ENFP. I did the test." "Oh, just a slight, just a slight idea." And then
Okay.
and the reason why he said that is because we basically joked and laughed that ENFPs are the biggest slags ever. But obviously he didn't tell her, and I was like, "You see, man, now you can tell who's basically a slag or not by just the MBTI. FP, ENFP, you're good. You're good. You look for the P, the F, the E, you're good. There you have a strong possibility. ISFP sometimes they're kind of like the low key ones, but anyway, that's. But anyway, I gotta wrap this up. So,
Yeah, it's been like I think we've been on this for like almost 3 hours now.
no, 2 hours and 10, but like we spoke about an hour before.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. Before we were on
yeah,
it for
yeah.
like an hour because we started this at 12 my time. So like, yeah, we've been on this for a couple hours. But yeah, that's shit. I gotta get some work done. So okay. So what do I give my socials here? Are you gonna link to them or I'll just say it verbally. Fuck it, why not? So it's Xans and so XANSDS. Yeah, that's my Twitter username. I have like a little multicolored profile picture and a triangle in the background. Talk about hypnosis, have hypnosis in my name. Pretty straightforward. Um, and yeah, so thank you for having me on, French. This is an amazing conversation. I have a feeling we'll be doing this again.
Man, we
So
got.
much we could talk about for literally hours.
There you go. You see, maybe any type of apprehension, you basically all out of the window. You know, so I can be a
Yeah,
argumentative person, but I always love the intelligence behind the argument rather than the position. So,
just having a good conversation. I was also hypnotizing you subtly during this conversation. No, I'm just,
uh,
well, yes, actually. Well, so here's the thing all persuasion is hypnosis. Because what are you doing? Right? I'll end with this. So you're simply putting people into a trance that aligns with your beliefs. You're just changing people's emotional state, taking them from one state to another. If somebody's angry, you make them happy. If somebody's argumentative, you make them not argumentative. If somebody's sad, you make them not sad, whatever it is, right? All a trance is hyperfixation with disassociation. You're taking them from one reality to another. You're focusing on this problem or this issue or this thing to another. So I don't know exactly what we did on this conversation, what the goal was, besides I have a good conversation. But hey, we had a great conversation. So I thank you for that.
no worries. And I might actually ask, call for your services. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, give me seriously. I mean, I work with people all day, every day, just private sessions. I'll probably do a self hypnosis tape product in the future or whatever. This thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger each and every day. But if you ever want a session, French, hit me up. I'll do it.
here we go.
Just be prepared because it'll change your entire life in ways you never even knew were possible.
And you know what?
And that's yeah,
That'd be a great fucking storyline for your marketing.
right. Why not? Let's take it to the next level. No, seriously, dude, this shit is like insanely powerful. But yeah, on that note, I will let you go unless you got something else.
No, nothing all. And Dance, thank you very much for joining in. I really enjoyed this conversation. I really appreciate like the opportunities that X has given me in meeting very
Oh,
resource
amazing.
resourceful and intelligent, fun, challenging people, and you're one of them. And again, most likely we're going to do that again. We'll figure when, but in the meantime,
Yeah.
we'll keep on chatting on the DMs, or if it's not on some arguments on X.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, man.
Perfect.
Take care.
Take care. Bye
All
bye.
right.